Sports Radio 560
WQAM
Miami, Florida presents The Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560, toll free for Dade and Broward, or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Mornings on 560 WQAM will never be the same. Starting this Monday, it's the Suds Coleman Show. Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m., right before Neil. The Suds Coleman Show, only on 560 WQAM.
Oh! Let me take you down to Yankee Stadium where strawberry fields.
Yes.
While making drug deals.
Yes.
And nothing seems to dry 'em out.
Uh-huh.
Strawberry rehab forever.
Oh!
Living is easy for sports pros who put the fannies in the seats. A superstar can get messed up, but he can still cash out.
Oh, man.
If he can hit 293. And he won't come down, 'cause he loves his when strawberry fields. He's making drug deals. As long as he can hit 'em out, strawberry stash lasts forever.
Oh!
Now when he's swinging at strike 3, I'll bet he must be high on blow. And all the little kids will think that it's alright to get real high and grab a bat. Let me take you down to Yankee Stadium where strawberry fields while making drug deals.
Oh!
They're never gonna kick him out. Strawberry rehab forever.
Boy!
Strawberry rehab forever.
Yeah!
He'll probably relapse forever.
Edward Larson in Nebraska.
Hello, Daryl Strawberry. Look, man, I told you to call me to the game. Hey, look, I probably ought to go. There's a fly ball coming. I'll call you later.
Another tough break for poor Daryl, baby. Let's all say Kaddish for Daryl Strawberry. Little problem this morning, 3 o'clock in the morning over there in Tampa. He was all getting ready to go to the minor leagues, you know, get rehab. He's had that little colon cancer problem or a prostate, whatever it was. And Yankee outfielder Daryl Strawberry charged with possession of cocaine and solicitation of a prostitute.
Only $50.
Over in Tampa. How do you like that? During a search by officers after he was arrested for soliciting an undercover officer for sex for $50 this morning, 0.3 grams of powder cocaine was found inside of his wallet, police said. He was released on $6,000 bond early today. The lanky left-hander, an 8-time All-Star, was in Tampa at spring training camp to get back into shape, getting ready to make his 85th comeback, okay? You think he's going to make his 85th?
No.
No. Come on. He deserves what, 20, 30 more chances? I think that all jocks deserve like 70 or 80 more chances. Come on. Just give him a chance. Come on, Daryl. Don't blow it this time. So anyway, speaking of that, boy, I'm looking forward to this show today. I have got so much stuff to talk about today. I mean, I am looking forward to this eagerly, and I can't begin to tell you. First piece of great news, but this is selfish. You know, I don't want to be selfish, but I will anyway. Because I'm always telling you about what a lousy stock picker I am. And yesterday, I get home and I got CNBC sitting on there, which there was a great article, by the way, about CNBC in the Sun Sentinel yesterday, which I forgot I didn't have time to get to because of all those great calls we had. But they really do a great job. That's the best of all the TV networks, CNBC. These people, I've said it many times before, and remember we had the call from Ted David a few weeks ago? Sure you do. They work like round the clock. Joe Kernan, I think, must have a bed in the back there, and his wife sees him like about an hour on the weekend. I don't believe the hours that these people put in, and they like almost never make a mistake. They don't fumble and bumble, and they just, I mean, granted that all the guests they bring on, most of them are full of crap, and one guy says this, it's bear crap, it's bull crap, you know, and who the hell knows what they're talking about, but they sure do a phenomenal job. So I'm watching yesterday in the house, and here comes Caterpillar, the bane of my existence, okay? I don't want to mention my good friend Derek at the track gave me a tip on this, a bogus tip, months and months and months ago, and I bought it at 55 and change, and it went down as low as 39 and change. And just always seemed to be stuck there between 44, 48, 46, go up a point or two, go down 3, and I thought to myself, I'll never live long enough to get the money back. I made a pretty, fairly good chunk of change investment on that thing. Why? I don't know, because I'm a schmuck. I look on the screen there on the crawl, Caterpillar up 660 and something. I was on the phone like immediately, if not sooner. Sell it! Sell it! Okay, just calm down. Sell! And as luck would have it, I wasn't able to get through to my broker right away because I got one of those recordings, you know, like if you call for the airline, please hold because the volume of calls right now is very heavy. And when I did finally get through, it had gone up another half a point. Oh! 60 and 5/8. Nice going, Neil, for once in your life. And this morning, the bad news is it's back down 3/8 of a point already. I hope it goes down to 10. I hope none of you have any of it, but I just hope it goes down to 10. And if it went up to 100, doesn't faze me. I'm not one of those people that says, gee, if I would only held on to it. No, I'm real happy to bail out and make a very small and happily profit. Thank you. Thank you, Derek. You lucked out. By the way, if Dr. Mark is listening or anybody in his office, which I certainly doubt because I don't think there's anybody in his office, but if they are, I noticed page 2 of my blood test thing from the other day. Oh, and look at my arm, by the way. You have a nice, beautiful Technicolor inside of my elbow there. Not as good as the other one from that clinic that I don't want to mention, but it's bizarre. But at any rate, so page 2 of my report came in yesterday, or I found it this morning here on my fax machine. Page 1 is mysteriously missing, which had the most important stuff. But getting back to this stuff. Oh, we got so much stuff to do today, I'll never have time to do it. Let me just start with this about Hank. I'm leaving here yesterday, and Hank is going on, and his blood test results just came back. Why they took that long, I have no idea, because he was telling me the other day it's taken like 9 days or something. A couple of days, you should have everything. But at any rate, he said, his test results were great. His triglycerides were down to 110. Mine are 94, by the way. But, hey, that's pretty good, 110. And he said his blood sugar was normal, and his doctor said he's no longer diabetic. Well, guess what, Hank? We just have a bulletin. Joe DiMaggio just announced he's no longer dead. When I heard him say that, I didn't know whether to scream or just get out of the car and lay down on the road. There is no such thing as being no longer diabetic, Hank. I hate to break the news to you. My blood sugar in my test was 99. That's great. My hemoglobin, normal is 4.2 to 7.0, 6.8. That's your blood sugar over a period of I don't know how many weeks, but over a period of time, which is the true measure of it. 6.8, well within normal range. Does that mean I'm no longer diabetic?
No.
No. But, some people, if you want to be in denial all your life and pretend it just doesn't happen, I only wish that it could be. You can control it. But any doctor that would tell you that you're not diabetic anymore, that doctor should sleep with the fishes. I'll tell you that right now. So don't be sending out for that, hot fudge sundae, for the banana split, for that triple chocolate brownie hound cake or whatever, because I hate to break the news to you. Can't do it. How do you like that? The doctor says he's no longer diabetic. 10 past 10 at 560 WQAM. By the way, speaking of Hank, Defo had some amazing things to say this morning, which we'll get to in a second.
Your mornings will never be the same. Starting this Monday on 560 WQAM, it's the Morning Mayor, Herb Oscar Anderson.
Hello again.
my best to you. Are your skies all gray?
Yes.
I hope they're blue.
Wake up to Herb Oscar Anderson Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. Only on 560 WQAM.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the two newest New York Yankees, Daryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden, and their personal coach, Steve Howe. That's what I'd like to know.
Doc Gooden's in the wind-up. The straw man snorts the line-up. He's drooling like a dog who heard a bell.
All right.
He's high as a lab rat from smoking the crack at a bat. He doesn't like cocaine, just likes the way it smells. Snorting 8 balls. Daryl's rolling up a 20. Snorting 8 balls. And he's giving Gooden plenty.
Oh.
They lick the $20 bill.
Yes.
Their teeth are grinding like a pepper mill. Doing 8 balls.
Oh!
Alcohol and pills. These guys. Steve Howe is in the bullpen. His nostrils are wide open. He's so f***ed up he thinks he's on the Braves. He gets advice from Doc, and Doc prescribes some rock. So first he blew a line, and then he blew the save. Snorting 8 balls. They abuse the magic powder. Snorting 8 balls. Sprinkle it on their clam chowder. Prescriptions got perpetual refill. They do it in the pool if they had gills.
Unbelievable.
Doing 8 balls. Oh! Alcohol and pills. All that money. 8 balls. Alcohol and pills.
I'd like to welcome you all aboard. This is your manager, Buck.
Hi, Buck.
You know that old saying, don't you? You can take the boy out of the ghetto, but you can't take the scum out of the scumbag. 10:16 at 560 WQAM. So anyway, we had some, that is a major story that happened late last night, so it's not in your papers this morning. Trust me when I tell you, it's the Emmis. But we had some a series of dead people, although some of them may be coming back, like the people who aren't diabetic anymore. Like Joe DiMaggio says, trust me when I tell you, my doctor says I'm not dead anymore. Huh? Even Abe Lincoln's doctor says Abe had a bad headache for like 130-some years, but he's not dead anymore. Let's hear it for Abe.
Oh!
Guess who died? Well, first of all, there's good news and there's bad news. Oh, that's terrible. You shouldn't say that about him. But when they die, like Anthony Newley, I hate Anthony. Well, I used to. Not anymore. He's dead. Couldn't stand him. Don't you remember him? Tony Newley, the British guy from Dr. Doolittle. What kind of fool am I? Oh, he sang like he was the ultimate British constipated singer. He was 67, died yesterday. The actor, playwright, author, composer, lyricist, and singer died at his home in Jensen Beach after a lengthy bout with cancer. He was first diagnosed in 1985 with renal cell cancer, had one kidney removed. After years of good health, the cancer made a comeback because God works in mysterious ways in 1997, and now he's dead.
Boy!
Anthony Newley dead. What kind of fool? Well, I guess he's a dead fool now. You won't see him no more. Although he could make a comeback if his doctor says he's okay. Now, there's a couple that, before we get to the big one, there's one very, very big name that died. Unfortunately, the Herald missed it altogether, and the people at the Sun Sentinel, this guy deserved a little more play than you gave him. At least I thought so. But anyway, Jim Blevins died in Nashville, the self-proclaimed popcorn king, who marketed a corn that produced a fluffier, tastier popcorn to movie theaters and grocery stores. He died. He was 87. He was probably the first guy that said, that corn sure is special, just before Ned Beatty said it to John Voight. Blevins was operating a Nashville food brokerage business in the 40s when he noticed that the movie industry boom was boosting sales of popcorn, but suppliers hadn't caught up. He signed a contract to supply all the popcorn for Middle Tennessee, and the line goes on and on. We all know Jim Blevins, whatever his name was. Here's another one. Jean Vanderpyle. I don't know how you pronounce that. P-Y-L? However it is. She's dead. I guess it makes no difference how I pronounce it now, because she's dead. Who was Jean Vanderpyle? The original voice of Wilma Flintstone.
Oi!
That's right. She died of lung cancer. She was 79. All you kids out there, she died of lung cancer because she was smoking those faggots, okay? Stay away from those faggots, kids.
That damn faggot. I can't stand him.
Right. All those faggots, man. Lung cancer, another one. Who else just died? Not Joe DiMaggio. There was somebody else just died the other day that was a heavy, heavy smoker. It'll come to me. Okay, so there's 3 down and 1 to go. And here's the big story. And I first saw the headline and I thought I knew who it was. And then I looked at the name and I said, maybe I don't know who it was. And then I read the story and I said, yes, I did know who it was. William Wenzel, 75, longtime Letterman show announcer. And I thought to myself, well, gee, the announcer on David Letterman was Bill Wendell. Well, William Wenzel was Bill Wendell, whose first job in radio, by the way, was at WHAM in Rochester, New York, many, many years ago. He left there and moved to New York to join the now-defunct Dumont Television Network, where he worked with Ernie Kovacs. When Kovacs left for NBC, Mr. Wenzel followed. And he also worked with, Gary Moore, Jack Barry, Merv Griffin, Alan King. He was the booth announcer, the studio announcer on just a zillion shows, daytime shows over the years, Bill Wendell. And probably that's one of the reasons that Dave's ratings have gone through the toilet right now, because Bill Wendell retired in 1995 after nearly 14 years because he said the fun had diminished, and he came to Florida to retire. He was a resident of Delray Beach. He was known professionally as Bill Wendell and died at a hospice by the sea in Boca at 75. Died of cancer. Bill Wendell. Anybody remember Bill Wendell?
No.
No? Anybody ever read The Famous?
No.
By the way, Howard Kleinberg came by at the hockey game last night before the game, thanked me for reading his great column about The Famous on the air, and still denies he fell asleep on my show. Well, you keep remembering it the way you want to, Howard. It's more fun to jazz it up on there. He did admit falling asleep, but he has a different memory of the story. Bill Wendell is dead. Bill Wendell, good guy. Great, very, one of those voices that was very distinctive, you know? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Good. That game last night, well, we don't want to talk too much about that. There's not much to say about that. Huh? I mean, it was terrible. It was just awful. Nice that the Panthers won, but, I mean, it was just horrible. 2 terrible, desperate teams. What did I just miss? Did Miriam want, what was that all about?
I'm getting my employee of the month money.
Oh, my God! Are you serious? Did I just hear that? Ladies and gentlemen, major announcement, okay? Oh! Now, what was the thing I said yesterday? Which is going to happen first? You getting that money, or what was the other one?
My meal from Rimmer.
Okay, so there's the answer. Not that we want to rip Rimmer again, do we?
Yes.
The answer is George gets the $200 check for being the employee of the month several months ago from Greg Reed before he gets the free meal promised by Rimmer. What was that, like 2 years ago? At least 2 years ago. You'll never live long enough to collect that. He hates you like poison. Well, how do you expect a guy that you hate and hates you to buy you dinner? Although, like you said, he doesn't have to be there.
Well, see, the hate wasn't there until, all of these things. Like stiffing me for the dinner.
Like stiffing you for the dinner?
All of these things.
Too. Being an ego without a cause. All that stuff.
But you did like the hockey shows, though. We found that out yesterday.
Oh, yeah, they're phenomenal.
We have another interesting Insta poll we're going to be doing today. And the reason we're going to do this one today is because I think Defoe brought up an interesting point this morning around the building. And, of course, loose lips sink ships. If you're going to walk around a building and talking a lot and, saying all of these things.
All of these things.
Then I think that we ought to discuss it openly on the air. I've never been one of those people to say things off the air that I won't say on the air. There's some things in life that you can't say, but generally speaking, I don't worry about those things. Offending somebody. So, obviously the ratings keep coming month after month, book after book, trend after trend. This show continues going through the roof. We're doing great here. Knock on whatever. A lot of people hate this show. A lot of people love it. But they're all listening one way or the other, This show is doing sensationally well, bringing in a lot of money here. I'm sure Gregory likes that, even if he don't like the show, which I don't really care, because I don't do the show for Gregory. Hearing Joe Rose call Gregory this morning, I wanted to upchuck right there in my beautiful Corvette. If I were driving like a crappier car, I would have just puked all over the seat, all over the steering wheel. Gregory. Man, oh man, that little dog. Just, what a suck job. That's exactly what it was. What does he say on that one thing? I'll find it here. Yeah, that's what he says.
What a suck-up job that was.
Yeah, right. Gregory. When you think of Greg Reed, do you ever think in terms of Gregory? Huh? I think like in terms of putts, But Gregory?
No.
No. So anyway, Defoe was posing the question, or what was he like? However he was doing it. I think it's called passing the buck. Because the morning show, afternoon drive, they're both pretty flat. They go up a little tiny bit, they go down a little tiny bit. They're not going anywhere. It's like when you're running in place, you know? Your feet are moving fast, you're not going anywhere. In fact, even the program director, when he called me about the last trend, he made the comment to me about, well, you went through the roof again, you had a great trend. We just don't ever seem to go anywhere. The rest, they were flat. Flat as a pancake. And Defoe seems to think that the problem on the station is the afternoon show. It's Hank, is what Defoe is basically saying. Now, you might call that passing the buck, trying to deflect from your own deficiencies, whatever those might be, assuming that there are. I'm not saying that there are. I'm not passing judgment. I'm going to leave that to the audience. Now, we do have a lot of people that don't listen to the rest of the station. Those people, naturally, they'll have to, sit and observe and chuckle a little bit, at the discomfort of these other people, since evidently they're looking to start. They're trying to start with me. I don't really care. I heard them talking about me this morning, and Defoe make up some corny story about how I was jumping all over these kids at the game last night, trying to shove them out of the way to get the little stuff that the blimp drops down. Very fanciful. But corn is bad for you, Defoe. Not only dietarily, but corn is bad for you. Corn kills. Whether it's on your feet, whether it's on your plate, even if it's special, it's a killer. It's bad stuff for you. Even a popcorn guy, look at that. He was 87. I think he was probably only 47. Too much popcorn, he's dead. But we'll find out today from this audience, from those people who do listen to Sports Nerds. We have plenty of them out there now. They'll have an opinion, just like yesterday on that hockey show thing. The weak link on this radio station, is it morning drive or is it afternoon drive? Is it those three bozos in the morning or is it the humper in the afternoon? And I will say this, because I like Hank, but yesterday I was listening. He went through the thing about his doctor said he was no longer diabetic, and I chuckled and cried at the same time. And then he goes to the phones, and again, you can't blame this on Hank. It's the callers, these sports nerds. Here's a call. This is a call. Guy says, I'm hearing that the Colts might take a 1 and a 4 for Marshall Faulk. Do you think? And I went, click. Do you think they'd take a 1 and a 4? How about Lawrence Welk? Would he take a 1 and a 2? You think so? You think he might do that?
Uh-huh.
A 1 and a 2, and off goes the radio? So that's what we want to find out in our Insta poll before we get to the important stuff today about Let's Fire Brian and Terry Murray. Before we get to that stuff, and Dave Hyde's column this morning, and where the hell are the rest of my blood test results, Dr. Mark? See, he can always say that he faxed both pages because we'll never know, Here's page 2. I want page 1. What's the sense of listening to Paul Harvey and listening to page 2 if you're not going to hear what's on page 1? Anybody out there listen to Paul Harvey?
No.
Good. He's also dead, by the way. Nobody told him. Same with Paul Harvey Jr. 1027 at 560 WQM.
You can kiss my rear end.
And now, a royal flush. Princess Di, are you in there?
Yes. Could you bring the princess some more tissue?
Yeah, okay, bitch.
By the way, good news just in from Balmoral. Princess dead. She said her doctor said she's not dead anymore. Thank you. 1031 at 560 WQM. We got Jim Mad Dog Mandich.
Yes!
For Hank this afternoon between 2 and 6. Then 6 o'clock, we got Talking Baseball with Donnie B. The Marlins and the Mets again. The Marlins, they just keep showing up night after night. Not for much use, but they keep showing up. Any interest in that game?
No.
Okay, well, let's get this thing going here today. We had a tremendous response on those hockey shows yesterday. What's the weak link here on QAM? What is our programming problem? Inquiring minds want to know. Okay, is Defoe right? Is Hank the problem on this radio station? Is the Hank Goldberg show where we have a deficiency? Or is it that morning show? Is that where the problem lies? Or maybe it's the program director who just stuck his head in the door. That could be the problem. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How
yes,
you doing?
sir. Okay.
I'd like to talk about both of those shows.
Okay, go right ahead, sir.
The
I'm sure
morning
that our
show.
management types will be listening carefully to this. This is good stuff.
Okay. The morning show. The problem is, first of all, the ads. I mean, you got to sit through so long, and then they don't say anything in between the ads. I mean, you almost get more information through the ads.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to Hank, first of all, can he not eat for 4 hours? Because he's always eating or drinking or doing something, and I guess it's because he's in the restaurant.
Yeah.
But as soon as I
eat and drink on the air every day. I sit here drinking my water, having lunch.
But we don't hear you chewing. I mean, maybe you don't chew with your mouth open. That's the problem.
That's true.
And
I've learned to eat very surreptitiously. I can pack away like 14 salami sandwiches here. You'd never even know it.
And sometimes it's like he's drinking a milkshake or something. You hear him slurping at the end,
Slurping.
trying to get every little last bit.
Yeah.
And I think he knows a lot. I don't think he's necessarily the problem, but I think he's been conditioned to this area.
Yeah.
And nobody's got anything to say. Just talk about Danny and Jimmy and this and that, and then the draft.
Do you think the Colts will take a 1 and a 4 for Marshall Faulk? Yeah.
And then what's gonna, and then everybody wants to talk about this receiver who's
So what is your answer? What's your analyzation of this?
My thing is all these people are conditioned. All the people that work there are conditioned by the area, and I think they're both bringing it down. But the public likes it obviously because they're still turning in, and you guys are getting.
Yeah, but they're not. They're okay, but those shows aren't going anywhere. They're like flat. Little 0.2 of a point up, 0.2 of a point down. Like I said, like running in place. There's just no spark. There's no like taking off and really going somewhere.
Would you say
when you follow a show with the numbers that I got here, there's no reason why like 40 or 50% of them ought to drop off in the next hour.
Maybe this is just a sign of what the town's like and what most of the pulses are like in the town too, just flat.
Okay.
Well, areas
so in other words, you don't really have a problem with either show. You say they're doing fine.
I think
want to
they
put words in your mouth, but
I think they both suck, and I think this area sucks too.
Okay, thank you. Okay, look at that. This area must suck because I asked you a very important question here. I got one call on the board. These people don't care. I mean, I know they don't care about much. Are these phones working or what? Huh? Oh, Gregory won't like this. What the hell's going on with this crowd here this morning? 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
They both suck, but Hank sucks less because I'm fat too and I like him.
Okay, the fat people come down on the side of Hank. There you go. I'm surprised they didn't throw Boog's name in there. But by the way, the pool, we left out the New York and San Francisco factor. I didn't realize the Marlins are going to be on the road that long. So when we guessed Boog's weight, a lot of us left out the probably 17 or 18 pounds. We should just make that like a given. We'll subtract that when he comes back. Now, what is that all about? Why is that line? This phone is bizarre. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to respond to both the sports shows.
Well, you people are slow this morning. I'll tell you that. You're slow. Go ahead.
I'm in my car every day and listen to your show as well as the two sports shows.
Great.
And they're
so
getting to be real boring.
Opinion.
They're going to be real boring.
Yeah.
And so I don't listen to them.
So in other words, you would say that both, not just one or the other. You wouldn't say that Defoe is right when he wants to blame Hank for the problem with the ratings on his face? Well, that's what he's saying. He's going around a building, shooting off a mouth, which is unusual for him. He's usually a fence sitter, but I guess he's starting to feel the pressure a little bit. Now he wants to suggest Hank is the problem for this station's lack of success.
Well, tell them to put a little bit of humor in their shows, like you have in yours.
Right.
And then maybe they have some more.
As opposed,
I'm so tired of this draft stuff.
In other words, remove the corn and insert some real humor.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, God bless you, sir. Have a great day.
Thanks.
So he said too much corn, Defoe, is what he said. By the way, if they would have talked this morning about Pamela Lee and her breast reductions, that would have been much better than about the draft. Huh? Now, I know you don't want to hear about that, but all the guys out there, they do want to hear about that. They want to hear about Pamela Lee's breast reductions. They want to see the pictures. They want to sniff it. They want to know what it's all about, whether you think that she's hot or not. And once upon a time she was, for at least 5 or 10 minutes. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm one of those 50% that tune off and on. I'll tune on as soon as you come in, come on, and
right.
then tune off immediately
right
after you end. I can't take sports. It's boring. I don't like watching it.
So in other words, we should have a third category. Is it the morning show? Is it Hank, or is it the format?
It's the format, absolutely. You guys, the
all sports format, the one-dimensional, narrow-casting all sports format could be the problem. Now, Gregory won't like hearing that because it's an ego trip for him,
Well, the truth hurts.
Right, he can't take it.
But it's boring, absolutely boring. I will not the only time I listen to it is like if the Marlins get clobbered really bad.
Right.
Like Levon got.
Well, Levon giving up 85 runs in the first 2 innings, right?
Yeah, that was fun.
Let me ask you, do you think Levon can win 3 games this year?
No.
No.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right.
And God bless you. There's one of our people. One of our exclusive cume here between 10 and 2 who doesn't want to listen to all this sports stuff. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe Defoe is barking up the wrong ass, you know what I'm saying? Running around the building knocking Hank. I mean, if I have to come down on one side or the other, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Because I do like Hank, but I mean, and I like when Hank is, and this guy's got a good point. I like hearing Hank talk about stuff. I don't like when they start with as soon as the first calls start coming in with that draft stuff, oh my God. It's either, do you think Levon can win 30 games this weekend? Or, will they take a 1 and a 4 for Marshall Faulk, you think? How about waiting until Saturday and see what they take? Take 2 and call us in the morning, okay?
2 a.m. broadcast
what is
live
that?
from...
I don't want to hear that. You're starting to do things. Now, who used to do that? Was it Adam that used to do that? I'm trying to think of who used to do that. Dropping little things in there. You're starting to just a little tiny degree of losing it. I don't know what it is. It's been all month long, ever since you and Rimmer had that big falling out several years ago during that first hockey show, the day that he walked in and said, when's lunch coming? And I'll have coffee with cream. What do you say about the coffee? What do you say about that?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Tell me how he takes
2 creams in my coffee and no sugar in it.
And
well, he's a big star. He's a big star. Don't you believe that?
No.
A superstar, almost as big as Sam in there in our promotion department, who just turned around and walked out. Thank God. Oh, and by the way, if he comes with any more of that Van Hit stuff, just tell him.
No.
Just say
no
to Sam, okay? Tell him to go back to the houseboat, okay? Because that bed is empty right now. He'd look good on there.
Get the Hoover out the moon, man.
If you're a sinning human a season, you're gonna go to limbo. If you're not a Christian, that is the reason. You're gonna go to limbo. Limbo. You're gonna go end up in limbo. The waiting room of limbo. Limbo. You're gonna go end up in limbo. The waiting room of limbo. If you're a Jew, I'm sorry for you. You're gonna go to limbo. There's purgatory, but that's another story. You better off in limbo. Limbo. The waiting room of limbo. Limbo. The waiting room of limbo. Everybody, welcome to limbo. Husky. Waiting room. You're allowed to stand and sit down. Stand up and sit down. Because you never obeyed the laws of the Bible that were written by men who never wore pants. Please have a seat. You soon won't be leaving the waiting room of limbo. Old magazines and packs and TVs. That's what you get in limbo.
Yes.
Limbo. Limbo. The waiting room of limbo.
10:45 at 560 WQA. Hubble locates ancient galaxy. Big story in the paper this morning. Astronomers using the Hubble Space Telescope appeared 13 billion years back into time to find the oldest, most distant object ever detected, the galaxy fizzing with new stars. Fizzing. Like when you put Alka-Seltzer in a glass, it's fizzing. But, of course, that 13 billion year time frame, that flies in the face again of the religions who tell us that we've only been here the whole universe, only 5,000, 6,000 years, whatever it's been. Even like your accountant would tell us, your crazy accountant who screws the government so badly, whatever he does. Here's a fax, by the way. Says the format is definitely the problem. 20 hours of sports is boring. It's like 24 hours of news. Boring, boring, boring. And Defoe has got a lot of nerve to pin the blame on Hank, it says. At least Hank is a professional. The show in the morning is a nothing, a big zero, 3 talentless sports nerds. I can't stand them. 25 exclamation points, says Gary, okay? Well, there you go. You know, Defoe, you open up Pandora's box, and you never know what you're going to find crawling inside. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Pretty good, sir.
I'd like to vote on this.
Okay.
Now, I love the first team. I love Fathead. I love Goldilocks. And I love the wannabe Jimmy the Greek, Defoe. Now, as far as Hank, he's knowledgeable. I got to give him that.
Yeah.
But the guy's got an attitude. If you don't agree with the guy, he rips you. If he don't like you, he rips you.
Well,
if he don't like something,
I like that a lot better than
yeah, but he needs to get his attitude right. That's why I think he's losing calls. And you're number one, Pato. I love you.
Okay. 567-0560, pound 560. We already know I'm great. Okay, that's a given. We don't have to. And the fact that you're listening to the show, if you were to call and criticize this show, would only make you look like an asshole. You don't want to do that. If you want to, fine. I don't care because I get paid one way or the other. But we're talking about the real problems with this radio station, which obviously are not between 10 and 2. Don't forget Chris Moran, speaking of a problem, the one who said he didn't think Neil Rogers would ever be on his radio station. because Gregory just might not put him on there? Christina Moore will not be on this radio station after Saturday unless they stick some ESPN stuff. Well, he probably will be. Because the last Panther broadcast will be Saturday, Tampa Bay, right here in town. Am I going to that?
No.
No, I'm not going. Thank God. Last night was enough punishment. Won the game there. Nice goal. Beautiful goal there, Mark Parrish. That second goal, that tying goal late in the game. What a goal. That kid's a player, baby. We got 3 or 4 guys on that team, real players. Unfortunately, Bill Torrey is wearing his bow ties too tight because he tells Dave Hyde that the shake-up with the team will not include the general manager because Brian still has the naked pictures of Bill Torrey with a goat. I thought it was the other way around, but now we find that the Murray boys have got the naked pictures. Here's Coral Springs. Hello. Coral Springs. Going once, going twice, long gone, probably left home to join a gang. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Good. I like the morning team. I think they're good, particularly when they're all together and arguing amongst themselves. But Hank's a different story. He's just an old man. Now, what they should do is put Mandich on. He could follow your show and really carry it along.
Yeah.
And
well, he'll be on today, by the way, as a matter of fact. I
well,
mention that.
I hope Callisto. I mean, he's good. Didn't Mandich used to whoop the heck out of Hank when they went up against each other?
They went up against each other? When was that?
When Mandich was in IOD and Hank was in 560.
I don't think they were around at the same time. Mandich was doing like 6 to 8 on IOD, and Hank was still doing after. Well, yeah, they had that 6 to 7 hour, that crossover. I don't remember.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'll have to look back in the research.
And once you pull the audience, I bet everybody prefer Mandich over Hank.
Oh, well, that'll be like a subplot. Okay, thanks, pal.
Thanks.
Have a great day. Okay. See, I wasn't going to do that because I don't want to pit. Because that would I would assume would make it sound like I'm agreeing with what Defoe said, which I don't agree. I really don't know. I mean, you look at the numbers, and there really aren't. There's not that much to choose from. And maybe again, the reason being for that is there is a limited number of sports nerds out there who only want to hear the sameness on and on and on, and over and above beyond that, you'll never grow. You can never possibly grow those numbers and that audience because most people just don't want to hear the same tired
crap
over and over again. Is that a possibility?
Yeah.
I would think so. But whatever you say. Here's a mobile in Hialeah. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that talk soup in the morning, I think they're a bunch of misfits. And why do they keep saying about Hank being knowledgeable?
Why do they keep saying it?
Yeah,
because I guess they believe that.
He's knowledgeable. Bob Costas, Al
Bob
Michaels.
Costas is crap. He's a little twerp.
Crap.
Yeah.
Hey,
what
do you think
Bob
of...
Costas ain't coming to QAM, thank God. He's not coming here. We don't like short little people. We like fat people here. We don't like little midgets like Bob Costas.
I think you're on the money today, Neil.
Okay,
what
pal.
about some Yamans?
Okay, have a great day. Yeah, I think you're already smoking it. 5670560. Anybody that would suck up to the little twerp Bob Costas. Man, the day he comes on this station is the day that we all bail out. What a little ass sucker he is. And anybody that tells me that Bob Costas was a great anything announcer, he is crap. Just a little nerd, a little twerpy nerd. You know what they say about those little people, George. Here's a lady in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello,
That's
Neil.
what Rimmer always says. Yes.
Yes, I'd like to give my ideas on the format.
Go right ahead.
I happen to be a radio listener,
Uh-huh.
and I enjoy sports.
Yes.
I can only tell you about the AM and the late PM. That's when I listen. And I want to say I enjoy Ed Kaplan at night, and in the morning I would listen to those guys except for Rick and Suds being opposite them. But Hank, I can't take. Whoever says he's knowledgeable, he must have good legmen that do all and give him these figures. But
Good
times I've listened to him, and he's read from girly magazines,
Yeah.
or he's commented on this. I can't take that. So the radio goes off. I don't listen to anything after you go off.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Okay.
So there's one vote for
Kaplan.
5670560. Well, he's got his own jingle. Do we have a jingle in there for Defoe?
No.
Little Dog?
No.
Geldy?
No.
Hank?
No.
But
Kaplan.
he's in. Well, I think he's in. Or is he out? I'm not really sure what that means because the other jingles are like,
Dave Lamont.
he's out, and then,
Ed Berliner.
which they couldn't even pronounce it right, and then there's,
John Moynihan.
they're all gone. So I don't want Ed to get nervous.
Ed Kaplan.
Everybody else on the station that had a jingle like that, personalized, they're out, okay? So I would keep renting if I were you, Ed. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Before I mentioned about Hank and all like that, I don't know if you mentioned it this week. You know the Dalai Lama's coming to town, right?
Hello, Dalai Lama?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Richard Gere's probably going to be in tow. So all you families,
he's going to be in tow, or is he going to have the Dalai Lama's toe in his
rectum? Well,
and say it felt like a gerbil, but it was only his toe.
That's what I was about to mention. If
like
Richard Gere is a devout follower of the Dalai Lama,
your
get
pets,
the gerbils
ladies
early.
and gentlemen. Richard Gere's coming to town, yeah.
Anyway, I like to be entertained.
I wouldn't be surprised if Joseph Goebbels makes a comeback.
That's possible, too. I like to be
He'll be
entertained
already on IMZ between 10 and whenever. Go ahead.
Okay, I like to be entertained in the morning, so if I can't pick up Rick and Suds, I would like to listen to Bob and Tom.
Right.
Out of West Palm.
If we could get Bob and Tom on this station, that would solve most of these problems, I think.
I kind of doubt it, because it does. You look at their thing on the web page, they don't look like they're in too many major cities, except like somewhere in the Midwest.
Well, they're in West Palm.
But you get down south of 595, you can't pick up KGR.
No, I understand that, but forget about where else they're on. That's not the point. Forget about what we need to think about is the quality of their show, which is great.
It's excellent.
They're dynamite. And they do talk a little bit about, like indie stuff that's indigenous to Indianapolis, because that's where they do their show. But, I mean, there's a little bit of sports on that show, but plus there's a lot of humor.
Oh, yeah, they have their own sport.
I guarantee you won't hear them doing a draft show. They will not be doing the NFL draft show on Bob and Tom, I don't think.
Oh, God, no. Chick McGee will talk about his picks because he's a gambler, but, he doesn't get into it like Ed Kaplan and all like that. It's just like a little side comment. Anyway, Ed Kaplan! Yeah. Because I would think just Hank in the afternoon is fine, have something different in the morning, because how many times can you talk about sports?
It gets really ponderous.
It does.
In fact, you can hear them reaching and searching and knowing that, they keep repeating over and over again, nobody cares about the Marlins and nobody cares about the Panthers, that's for sure, and nobody cares about this. And so if nobody cares, what is there to talk? Why are we doing this? That's my point. If nobody cares, nobody shows up for like the Marlin games, what's the point? The Matadors are leaving, everybody is bailing out. Well, what is the point?
All they care is about the Dolphins.
Unless we do all Dolphin talk the other 20 hours on the station, because that's the only sport that these people claim to care about in this town.
And what prospect? They see an 8-year-old kid playing football. How well is he going to do in the 2015 draft?
Dolphin and draft talk, right, 20 hours a day.
Yeah. So honestly, I listen to Hank because the old station messed up the lineup. I used to listen to you, Rick, and Phil.
They killed it. They butchered it.
They totally destroyed it. But Hank is good. He is not rude. If you're to meet, if meeting him in person, he's not a rude person. He's very polite. So these people that say he's got an attitude, it's probably someone
that's what makes his show good is the attitude. Hank without the attitude is like terminal. Who the hell wants to hear that?
And Mandich, doesn't he run his own business? So he can't be at the station all the time.
Yeah.
That's because he's also got other commitments.
He's got a real job, that's right. Okay, Thanks a lot, pal.
Thank you.
The reason I hesitated there is because the nephew just... Okay, here's what I'm going to do with this, okay? Here you go. I'm wiping my ass with it. Well, why do you keep doing this? Why? And don't go to a place where there's all Schwarzers again to make me look bad, okay? North Miami Beach they go the other day where there weren't three. The only 3 white people were the guys making the donuts at Krispy Kreme within a 30-block radius. Oh, we're not getting anybody out here. We don't know what's wrong with you. Nobody's showing up. Go where there's some white people, okay, who might speak a little English. The QAM fan, this is the way it goes. See, this is the way this station operates. I say one thing, Sam and the nephew, they do something the opposite. Now, I don't have to put this on the air, but I'll do it to humor them, because at least it'll get them out of the building. The QAM van will be located at the Citgo gas station from 11 a.m. How's he going to be there at 11 a.m.? He's just walked in and handed me this. Until whenever. We're here in, he can get there in a few minutes, but they'll be there in a little while. 6924 Miramar Parkway in Miramar. They'll have certificates for free gas at Citgo for the first 5 cars. The first 5 cars get 10 gallons free. Tickets to see the Florida Bobcats against the Tampa Bay Storm Arena football game at the Yenta Center on Friday night. Free guest passes to Dania Highlight. Tickets to the U.S. Pro Water Ski and Waterboard Tour at Mills Pond Park on May 1st and 2nd.
Sports Radio 560, WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Late one night, in need of a screw, my lord said, hey, my balls were blue, and I hooked up and thought, what a but ugly girl.
see pies of cheese and tasty rice. A face a mosquito would dare not bite. And I think to myself, what a butterby girl. By now I've drank a lot, and I'm feeling pretty high. I've got to find a date, 'cause lately it's been dry. I reach out with my hand, saying, how do you do? Really meaning you'll have to do. So that's about time. I guess I bombed. I wanted to ask if Jenna Greeno's her mom. Now I'm sober, I think. What a butt-puppy girl.
Yes.
Yeah, I think to myself, what a butt-puppy girl. Oh.
103 at 560 WQM. We got the Mad Dogs for Hank 2 to 6 today. We got Donnie B talking baseball, and then the Marlins and the Mets. Any interest?
No.
Of course not. Here's a fax from Bill. Bill says, with Rick and Suds on in the mornings, I listen to them now, then you, and then Hank. I used to listen to the worst team, but never again. So in other words, he listened to the worst team until Rick and Suds were on here in the morning, and now goodbye to them is what Bill says. This is pretty interesting stuff, and our management was listening to this, but now they're all running around the building and sticking their noses in the air conditioning vents because there's a strange aroma coming from the vents. Maybe we're having like another little forest fire in here. You know, no rain. Maybe we're having forest fires indoors. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. What are we going to do about that situation with my doctor that nobody answers the phone at his orifice? And I can't get the other page of my test results, which is the one I really wanted anyway, and the other stuff like my homocysteine? What are we going to do about that? Maybe we'll have to just go over there ourselves. Maybe we'll take the remote microphone and just go over there and take a peek around and see if there's anybody in there, if there's anything going on. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Calling about your poll.
Okay.
Typically from 10 to 2, I listen to you every day. And when Hank comes on, I take about 20 minutes of him and go to FM. And if Greg Reed is listening, I can give you a couple reasons why.
Okay.
First of all, like another caller said, he's constantly eating on the air, and we all have to listen to him, and nobody likes to hear that.
Okay.
Snacking on his food. Secondly,
see, Hank, we're going to have to teach Hank. I'm going to have to give him some private lessons. How you eat without chomping.
Right,
You know, Steve Kane used to do that too, smacking the lips and
back off the microphone a little bit.
Right.
You know? And secondly, he consistently has 20-second spaces of blank air
Dead
time.
air, yeah.
Okay? And
Well, he may be digesting his food during those breaks.
yeah, maybe he's got a little gas.
Uh-huh.
And another thing is he tries to take your stick every now and then and start complaining, and it doesn't work for the hammer. It doesn't work for him.
In other words, it seems contrived, is what you're saying.
Right. But I tell you what,
Now, what about the morning show?
Well, I typically don't listen to them because there's too much other stuff on, so I can't comment on the morning show, but I do listen to Hank occasionally, and I can't take him. I can't take him.
Okay. I got you down.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. This is some pretty interesting stuff. See, these experts that we got in the building, if they would just sit around glued to the radio listening to you people out there, they'd find out a little bit instead of doing all this research and all these stupid surveys and all of these things. Anyway, let's promote that van hit again so the nephew doesn't call you up and bug you. The QAM van will be at the Citgo gas station, 6924 Miramar Parkway in Miramar already any minute, sometime. They'll have certificates for free gas at Citgo. The first 5 cars get 10 free gallons of gas, and the rest of you just get gas from the nephew. Also, they'll have, and I'm sure nobody wants these. See, this is why I don't like them doing this. If they had some good stuff to give away, then it's worthwhile. But they go away. I mean, the gas is nice. People will be there in a hurry for that, but that's only 5 people. Tickets to see the Florida Bobcats and the Tampa Bay Storm Arena football game at the Yenta Center on Friday night. Is there anybody interested in that?
No.
Free guest passes to Dania Highlight, where the average attendance is about 65 people now. Is there?
No.
And tickets to the U.S. Pro Water Ski and Wakeboard Tour at Mills Pond Park on May 1st and 2nd?
No.
I don't even know what the hell that is. Water Ski and Wakeboard Tour at Mills Pond Park? And by the way, the nephew in their backyard, they're going to be having a pud pull there between 4 and 5 this afternoon, free admission to that. I mean, what are these? These are events? This has to be a joke. Is Alan Funt in the building or what? He's got to be around somewhere. Rhymes with, here's a mobile and Sunrise. Hello. Mobile and Sunrise.
No, it's not a mobile. It's talking to me, Neil?
Here's a real phone and Sunrise.
All right, Neil. I like the morning show, but can we please have less updates? Maybe once every half hour, an hour.
That's a good point. You know, wouldn't you think if we had a real program director instead of Pussy Galore? We had, you know, we have all of the horrible format with all those spots in there, and you know they're not going to cut back on the spots because they're desperate to make the money so we can pay Wayne and John Henry. So having to run those spots in there, at least you're right. Cut back because it's just redundant. It's the same thing over and over, and every time you hear an update, it's Geldy with that same screeching, whining voice.
Well, if you're going to listen for 65 minutes, you hear 4 updates. I mean, how many people just tune in for 20 minutes and turn it off? That's not what you want. You want
Especially if you're in a car, you have a long commute to work in a car. How the hell can you hear that?
Yeah, that's something I've wanted to get off my chest a long time. And Neil, in the afternoon, you know, I like sports.
Yeah.
But he is rude and obnoxious. He talks down to the callers.
Yeah.
He's nice to people with power and money, but the people who call in, he's very rude.
You mean Neil?
Yeah. No, not Neil.
That's what you said.
Did I say Neil? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, you're right about that. Okay, thanks, pal.
All right.
Okay, so he said Hank and Neil. They're both rude, but he likes me. 5, 6, 7. So I never realized about that thing with Hank eating because I'm at home before he starts eating, I guess, most of the time. And I do listen until those calls start with like, you think the Colts will take a 1 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a... I mean, oh, God. I'm serious. There needs to be a whole field of psychiatry for a whole sector of these people who are... It's one thing to be a fan. It's another thing to be interested. I read the sports pages in the morning. I go to some of the hockey games. But, I mean, to be, like, obsessed, to be, like, mentally ill, like the guy that calls the worst team yesterday morning, that John guy. John Boy, who says that John from Hollywood or wherever he was from, oh, well, you know, it's only a month out of the year. He devotes a month every year to the NFL draft. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's a young guy. In 12 years, that means 1 month a year, that's a year of his life that he's thrown away on the NFL draft, that he's scouring and he's poring over it and analyzing and emotionally involved. Sick people. Very, very sick people. That's going to be tomorrow's poll question, by the way. Who's sicker, people who watch golf on TV or who go to golf tournaments or people who are like obsessed with the NFL draft? That's one thing I'll say. I mean, Defoe is right about that. I can't agree with him on too much, especially that cornball stuff is. But when it comes to the draft, it is garbage. It's going to happen, okay? It's going to happen. If you're interested, watch some of it. Read the stuff in the paper on Sunday. It'll take like 3 minutes. Whatever. But the idea that this is some kind of like even a real sporting event, which it's not, is so bizarre, so inane, so unacceptable. Now you got to understand, the same was true at IOD. We had to milk it. We got to do the same thing. We milk it, we bilk it, we squeeze as many spots out of it as we can. We're exploiting it. We can make some money on it. The same with ESPN. They know it's not entertaining. They know that nobody with a brain or with a real life would ever pay any attention to it, but we can sell it. You want to buy the draft? Huh? You want to buy some spots?
Yes.
You want to buy the Marlins?
No.
There you go. We got to sell spots up the ass so we can pay Baldy. Don't you understand? It's as simple as that. That's why it's all spots radio. Just what I predicted 3 years ago. In fact, I think what they'll probably do in morning and afternoon drive is just eliminate the programming. Just run all spots. Screw Ann would go for that. But you don't have like hardly any show there in the morning anyway. I mean, with the updates and with all the 50 spots, just all spots. Then we'll get some promotion. I can just see the billboards now. We can afford billboards then. All spots radio, 20 hours a day. And that fat fag in the middle of the day.
Shelby, I thought them out. E-R-E-C-T-I-O-N.
Oh.
It's erection time. I'm gonna kick off my shoes, strip off my dress. It makes me wet when I see you get
Squirt.
a big erection.
Oh, all right.
That's too big for my mouth. I want it mercenary and on top of you, and take it up my lubricated poop suit. Give me an erection.
Okay.
Nail me to the wall. E-R-E-C-T-I-O-N. I want to drain your balls. I want to lob the wally out you and you shoot your Uzi. And then I'll give it a blow. In the morning it gets as big as this. At least until you take a piss. I want to wrap
around your pulsing tube and make your wonder worm explode with fluid. That's the miraculous, and it's uncircumcised. E-R-E-C-T-I-O-N. I want to drain your balls. E-R-E-C-T-I-O-N.
11:16 at 560 WQAM. Happy Thursday to you. By the way, just one quick hockey point. I know you don't care about it, but I see Brian Berard scored the winning goal in overtime for the Leafs last night against the Islanders. And that was an interesting thing. I wish I would have seen that game instead of the game that I did see, because our game was pretty boring. Very boring. But at any rate, that was the trade. The Leafs traded Felix Potvin away for Brian Berard. A lot of people criticized Mike Smith in Toronto, said he waited too long. And here's Brian Berard, who's come along. He's playing better defense. He's scoring a lot of points. Gets the winning goal in overtime.
Oh!
Nice going, Brian, baby. Too bad, Felix. Here's a fax that says, just make one change in the programming, please. It's got 85 please. In the name of God, Jesus, Buddha, Vishnu, Allah, Satan, or is that Miroslav Shatan, Zeus, Apollo, Ra the sun god, and Neil God. Simulcast, Phil Henry show from L.A. He's on from 7 to 11 there. That's 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. here. I guarantee the ratings will skyrocket. I just want to listen to something different and entertaining is what it's got underlined. See, that's what we're here for. We're entertainers. We're not here to inform. We're not here to educate. We're not here to give you information about, well, the number 1 and 4 picks. Well, who cares? We're here to be entertaining. If you're not entertaining, then you lose. Then it goes on to say, narrowcasting sucks. Don't you people get it already here at QAM?
No.
Now, here's a great line. This is the best line I've ever read in my life in one of our faxes. It says, the management at WQAM is more dense than a white dwarf star, which happens to be the densest object in the universe, and they win hands down.
Yes.
By the way, as soon as you're finished at 2, I switch over to FM. Says Robert, okay? Getting a real good seminar here today on the listening habits of this audience, of the whole QAM audience, which I think is useful, okay? Will they do anything with it over here?
No.
No, but it's useful to us. And especially the Defoe, of course. Maybe he'll quit running around the building knocking Hank so much after he hears this today. Or not, as the case may be. Or maybe he'll just start eating on the air. Although, quite frankly, I don't think he can afford Defoe to be, because he's going to pass Hank like he's standing still in the weight department, believe me. Hank is losing, and Defoe is expanding like one of those gigantic, like the universe. Expanding and contracting. Here's a Lady Mobile in Coral Springs.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to make a comment first on Bob Costas before I get into the poll. My husband went to high school with him, and he was actually cut from every sports team he tried out for. He was great with facts and figures, but couldn't make a team. So he has no actual experience playing. And as far as the first team goes, we use that to wake up in the morning as an alarm.
Uh-huh.
As soon as we hear Goldie's voice, we shut it off because it's kind of shrieky and gets us right out of bed. For Hank in the afternoon, I think I can listen to him for about a half hour.
Yeah.
Until he starts either talking about how svelte he is or has sexist comments, and then I have to let him go.
Okay.
You're still number 1.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. What'd she say? Okay, so here's a fax from somebody. What the hell is this? Oh, yeah, Danny said this and Jimmy did that. Yeah, too much Danny said this and Jimmy did that, but that's the audience's fault. That's this town, one-dimensional. So here's the ratings, okay? Oh, look at that. Number 1, the first team. What is that? Number 1, the first team. Number 2, Neil. Number 3, Mad Dog. Number 4, Hank. Number 5, Bo Camper. Number 6, Sony Sports Showdown. Number 7, Number 8, Large Redhead. Number 9, Gene Thomas and the other guy. And number 10, George, or George with a G or a J. Okay? The first team, how do you like that? They beat me out here on my own show. Nice going there, whoever wrote this, you illiterate slob. I can handle it. 5, 6, 7. I got my nice Greek salad, by the way. I'm getting off the Atkins diet. I just thought I would mention that. I don't believe in it anymore. I'm sure if it works for you, great. As far as your blood sugar, it's great. No problems with that. But for me, I've said this before. That's why I got off of it. If it was still working for me, I would have done it. It doesn't work. It's painful and it doesn't work, which doesn't mean I can go back to eating all those carbohydrates, but I'm going to start with a lot more shallot, okay? Maybe then I can be the spokesman if I eat enough shallot. Yeah, I'm going to start more rabbit food. I just can't do it. I'm not losing any weight with that crap. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, sir.
First of all,
I think your show should be taken and have it syndicated. You're that good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know that, but we're not talking about.
Well, no. All right. Well,
I mean, we know my show rules beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Okay.
That's a given.
All right. Now your other
even
people.
Defoe would admit that in private if he promised not to repeat it. He knows that.
All right. Now the other point is the other shows that you have with Mandich and I don't know. I'm a little bit tired. I'm an ex-professional athlete. I'm a little hearing ex-professional athletes gabber myself.
Yeah. Other than Mandich.
Well, Mandich is all right.
Including man. I mean, I like Mandich.
Well, Mandich is all right. Now, my game was basketball, but I played all the sports, and the knowledgeable ones, not the neophytes that come on the air to be entertainers, but the ones that really want to speak to the fan, not the fanatic, which the word fan comes from, it's okay. But to beat it into the drum and the voluminous amount of airtime that they give to nonsense and Narishkeit, like you talk about the draft in this town.
Right.
I came back from Arizona, and that's a territory masquerading as a state out there. That's really nuts. They have 3 stations that are running sports.
Oi!
Thank you very much. And it's really too much. It really is too much. And in fairness to all sportscasters, which I want to get back to your comment yesterday, most of them are frustrated jocks. A lot of them live vicariously through this, which I don't even understand in my life. But it's kind of like they should think about what they say before they speak. I know it's entertainment, but to incite certain people, such as the knuckleheads in this town, and I grew up here and then I left, they have to think before they speak. And I know it's ratings and stuff like that, but what you do, it seems to be working. You're knowledgeable. You're able to talk to the people, not to be able to denigrate all the time. You're informative. And I would think, myself, you should take a look at trying to maybe get in and do some color commentary or play-by-play for hockey.
Colored commentary?
Not colored.
Oh,
we're not talking about bubonic here. We're talking that you're very knowledgeable. I heard you years ago doing baseball.
In other words, I shouldn't say he'd be going down the ice and he'd be scoring.
Do the do, bro, whatever works.
Okay.
But you are knowledgeable. You know hockey. You know sports. I think that the people here locally would probably listen to you because of your following.
Right.
And unfortunately, and this is a favor to you and just a compliment off the cuff, you're really a big market guy in Miami. As much as I love the town, it's a small town.
Well, I'm doing okay,
No, you are doing okay.
I'm doing all right.
I think you're...
I mean, I basically live out of town, and I just work here Monday through Friday. The rest of the time, I get out of here,
As you say, you talk about Yenamsville. That's Arizona.
It is. Well,
this town is really... And I thought it would get better, but it hasn't.
It's regressing rapidly.
It has. Now, the other 2 things are...
2 other things? Wow.
Enough for the suck.
Go ahead.
All right, Charlie Steiner. Is he mentioned in that book?
I don't know. I didn't bring the book into that.
Okay, and the other one is Embers Restaurant. Do you remember the Embers?
Where?
In Miami Beach?
No.
Oh.
That was probably before my time.
It probably was. I grew up here during the 50s and 60s.
Before my time.
Oh, okay. But whatever you're doing, keep doing. Listen, stay on your health thing, too.
Okay.
Because the more weight you lose, the better you feel.
Okay, Zagazon, say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Oh, by the way, the goalie for Montreal last night, interesting thing. I know he's gone. He's just, but he's Jewish. What do you want? But the goalie, speaking of that, last night for Montreal, that played Chabot, Frederick. Now, they brought in this guy, very clever, even though their team is horrendous, the worst maybe Montreal team that ever played. But the Frogs think he's a Frenchman named Chabot. But actually his name is Shabbat. His name is Shabbat Shalom. He's Jewish. It's a hyphenated name, but they only put the first part of it on his uniform. So they think it's Frederick Chabot, and they like him up there. He played pretty good last night, as a matter of fact. But his name is really Shabbat Shalom. No, I just made that up, of course. But I mean, well, it sounds good. Matthew Schneider played there for 5 days till they found out he was Jewish. Then he played in Toronto for about 10 minutes, and they found out he was not only Jewish, but a pain in the ass, and they got to get rid of his ass. And by the way, guess what? I don't care if Wayne Gretzky retires or not. I hope that he does, just so I don't ever have to hear his name again, okay? I am so sick and tired of is Wayne Gretzky going to retire? Does anybody care?
No.
He's 10 years ago's news already, okay? Say goodbye, Needle Nose. Bye-bye. See ya.
By the way,
yes?
The nephew has landed.
Good for him. Here's Carroll City. Hello.
Pearl City.
What is it?
Pearl City.
Here's Pearl City. Hello.
How are you doing this
Here's
morning?
Pearl Vision.
Pearl Vision Center.
Right.
I was thinking of a different sports format down here. You were laughing about the water skiing and what was that, wakeboarding?
Wakeboarding, yeah.
Well, you can just see it driving by 95 anyway. You don't need tickets.
That's true.
Just drive by on
Go by Sunrise, and there's a wake going on there 24 hours a day.
But
I just see all those old farts in their Jew canoes wakeboarding up Sunrise Boulevard.
How about you say laugh about auto racing being the number one spectator sport in America?
Mm-hmm.
Age group swimming is the number one participation sport.
What is it?
Age group swimming. So maybe we could have like a bunch of coaches and 12-year-old girls on the radio before and after.
I think that would do it. I think we get a 90 share. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Or just bring in Don Amici. Oh, he's dead? 26 after 11. Boy, I'll tell you, that Bill Wendell thing. Doesn't anybody care that Bill Wendell died?
No.
I mean, what the hell would David Letterman have ever been without Bill Wendell? Or with that little bald-headed geek? What was his name? Schaefer? Paul Schaefer? I know what his name was. What? Give me a little bit of credit, will you? Oh, by the way, hi to my good friend David Savita, the firefighter from Hollywood. Remember David from a long time ago? Well, a guy came to me before the game last night, said, oh, yeah, I work with David Savita. And he didn't pronounce his last name right or something. I remember David very well, vividly.
Father-in-law, would you get off my butt? If your daughter's so perfect, why'd she marry such a pud? Father-in-law, you think you're better than me, but I don't eat in cafeterias, and I have cable TV. Always wearing black shoes with Bermuda shorts. You complain about sciatica, you won't drive an import. Too much swearing in the movies, too many songs at the beach. Everyone except Reagan should have been impeached. Father-in-law, you like driving big cars, and you hate any music that has a guitar. Father-in-law, you tell me I am a creep, but I ain't clipping coupons every day of the week. I'm nothing like you, don't go to the dog track. I don't drink hot coffee when I eat a Big Mac. Your daughter's my wife, I will not destroy her. You're just gonna have to get over it. She didn't marry a lawyer.
11:33 at 560 WQM. Jim Mad Dog Mandich in for Hank Goldberg at 2. We got Donnie B talking baseball. Then you can turn it off because it's 6:35. It's the Marlins and the Mets. Will you turn it off?
Yes.
I'm sure you will. Eddie K after the game. So anyway, I'm not really learning anything from this poll we're doing this morning, which I find disturbing. I mean, I asked a very specific question. As usual, they're like all over the place. They're like weaving this circuitous patchwork of crap at our feet here. It's a very simple question. If there's a problem with the format of this show, is it the morning show? I mean, Defoe, like I said, was running around here flapping a loose lip this morning all over the building to anybody who would listen, even the plants. And I don't know what that's all about, why he's becoming paranoid and defensive. Maybe he figures when the book comes out in a couple of weeks that morning show might just not do all that great. Maybe that might be it. So we're asking, is it the problem in the morning show? Is it Hank in the afternoon, which is who Defoe's blaming? Or is it the format? Isn't it the Chronic? But to give you an example, last night at the Mac Arena, before the game and in between periods, I went all over that arena asking one question. We had a pretty good crowd considering the lack of significance of the game and just how horrendous things have gotten with the Panthers. Pretty good crowd. And I asked one question. Why are you here? And every single one of those people gave me the same answer.
I don't know.
Yeah. What are you doing here tonight?
I don't know.
Shocking. Astonishing. Who's playing out there?
I don't know.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Been listening to you for about 12 years and simply listen to you because you're entertaining. I'll definitely answer your question.
Okay. God bless you. You'll be one of the few.
The problem is the 10 to 2 show.
Yeah.
And I think I've only called you twice in 10 years, but I had to call today. He is unentertaining and, more importantly, unknowledgeable.
The 10 to 2 show?
I'm sorry.
I thought this was the 10 to 2 show.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, now that's a Freudian slip because the guy that before that called and said that it said something about the first team. And I said, but that Neil, he's rude. I think that was a Freudian slip.
I'm sorry. I got so excited there.
It doesn't bother me.
I've been waiting for my
10
chance
to 2
to rip.
is the problem.
I've been waiting for my chance to rip Hank for years.
Oh, okay.
He's not knowledgeable, Neil. He doesn't. His opinions are vanilla. He doesn't say anything. And then a lot of the things that he says, it's not even my opinion. They're just facts that are wrong.
Yeah,
and I think
like what?
That interview with Jack Clark is a perfect example.
But it wasn't Jack Clark. It was Will Clark. So.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He thought it was Jack.
Oh.
But he doesn't. It's so obvious that he's reading out of press guides and that his assistants are giving him
what do you mean he
information.
thought it was Jack Clark? I mean, isn't there a major difference between Will Clark and Jack Clark?
Yeah. Oh, sure. He thought he was talking to Jack Clark. He didn't know what league the guy played for.
Is that what it was?
Oh, I think there were a lot of problems. He's just not knowledgeable. He doesn't say anything. If you're a knowledgeable sports person, and I'm far from a sports geek, he doesn't know personnel. He doesn't know strategy. He's not knowledgeable, and the whole attitude is because he can't have a good rebuttal or a good conversation, so he has to hang up on people, and he has to have that attitude because he's not knowledgeable. And I thank you for letting me say that.
So in other words, you like Hank's show, though?
I do admit I listen to it. I don't listen.
See, that's all that counts. We don't.
Well, but wait, let me just say.
Now, what about the morning show? Now, you think that Defoe is knowledgeable?
I think those guys. I know you're going to kill me for this. Those guys are more knowledgeable than Hank.
Okay.
They're not great.
Even Geldy.
At least I disagree with a lot of Geldy's opinion, but at least he understands personnel. He understands the players or who's on what team and what he's talking about. Hank doesn't even know that stuff.
Yeah.
So now the one thing, and then I know you'll let me go here, is at least with you, I'll turn you on and listen to you for 4 hours. I can't listen to Hank for that long. I have to turn it off like after 15 or 20 minutes, and
now,
I'll
is that before or after he starts eating on the air?
That doesn't really bother me. All that stuff that you guys do, it's just I want someone who, if he acts that he's not knowledgeable, you got to be able to back it up, and he can't.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll pass it along.
Okay, thank you.
What did he try to say?
Hey, that's a good-looking guy.
Oh, that's what I thought he said. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. So there's a guy that's been waiting for years to take some shots at Hank. And say what you want. I'm not going to sit here and protect anybody. What do I care? If you're in this business and you're thin-skinned, you're in the wrong business. You know what I'm talking about? We got some people that are thin-skinned. They pretend that they're not. They pretend that they have like horseshoe leather, that they're thick-skinned, but they're really very sensitive and thin-skinned, and they can't take it. Unlike me, which you can heap all the crap you want in the world. I'll just take the money, thank you. I don't care. Faggot, yeah, and?
You're not talking about Rimmer again, are you?
I tell him that all the time. He is thin-skinned. He wants to have it not both ways. He wants to have it his way. Oh, don't talk to me. Don't talk about me on the air anymore. Don't even mention my name. He loves the attention. He's like a little child thirsting for attention, Rimmer. But then he always focuses. I bet you he does it with everybody else who will even speak to him. He's always ripping me for being the one that takes some shots. Why the hell not? I mean, here's a penalty shot come up at center ice in that game a few nights ago, and he and Denise Potvin, that dumb frog partner of his, that partner in crime, they're talking about is Kirk McLean okay? Kirk McLean is standing. He's smiling, guys. We can see his face. It's a TV game. Okay, there he is. He's laughing. He's okay. He got shook up. But in the meantime, one of those kids, John Jacopin, put his glove over the puck in the crease. That's a penalty shot. The guy's going to center ice there for Ottawa or whoever we were playing because it's a penalty shot. That's why all the other players are standing over at the bench, and there's only two guys on the ice along with the officials, the goalie and the guy at center ice who's going to take the penalty shot. And the guy is already skating toward the net when Rimmer decides, it's a penalty shot. McLean makes the save. Why does he have to deny that he blew it, okay? Why deny it? Even the great Joe Bowen, when Yannick Perreault had his 4 goals against Ottawa that one game a week ago last night. And the third goal, Joe Bowen, the light went on, but Joe thought it hit the post and it didn't go in. So he started to call a goal and he said, hit the post, no, it went in. Even the best announcers in the universe make a mistake. Why can't you admit making a mistake, Rimmer? Like offering George a free lunch. That was a mistake because he's going to hold it against you the rest of your life.
Dinner.
Lunch, in your case.
I don't want any of the above, but
don't expect dinner.
I don't expect
and
anything.
why would you even believe when somebody, people say things
like that
all the time.
I didn't know the guy that well at the time. I didn't know
people say crap like that all the time, okay? Especially cheap people that don't want to pay you $20 for doing a favor of spending hours and hours dubbing tapes like he did for you. Cheap people like him, they're not going to buy you dinner.
Then don't even say it.
He wouldn't give you a coupon for Ben and Jerry's.
I understand
Even
that.
if I gave him the coupon, he wouldn't give it to you.
And I wouldn't take the dinner.
Yes, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you would. You
no,
like
not from him.
You like free meals.
No,
I do like free meals.
like free meals. And I'll tolerate almost anyone.
Even Al Goldstein.
Right. Well, he's funny at dinner.
Yeah. 20 till noon at 560. By the way, Al Goldstein may be making an appearance at Pizza Loft when he brings his tubby fat body back from Queen's Day in Amsterdam. Well, let me ask you, was a couple of dolphins, why were they looking at you all the time? Didn't they have the stomach to look at me? I mean, what was that all about?
Well, that would make them gay. A couple people from the organization, I don't know if they were players or what.
That would make them gay if they looked at me?
Oh, that's just my guess.
I wouldn't touch either of them with your hand. I mean, I'm sure they're good guys, but they were nothing to write home about. I mean, good-looking football players? Isn't that like an oxymoron?
I don't know if they were players
except maybe Tommy Brady from University of Michigan that Mandich hates because he looks too good. I think that's what Mandich's problem is with Tommy Brady. Like I've said before, he looks too good, and Mandich only wishes that when he was that age, he looked like that, at any age. I mean, you know, they don't all have to be ugly to be good, Mad Dog. I know that's your style. You like the real rugged, hard-nosed, pug-nosed, you know, you like that. So who were they? We don't know.
Some guys from the Dolphins.
Some guys are from the Dolphin organization because they kept, like I thought they were friends of yours because they were upset. Maybe they like your show. Why don't you do a couple hours now, and I'll sit in there, and then maybe who was that brought him in there? Sam? Who was that?
Sam.
Yeah, Sam. Oh, Sam. Now I know why they were looking at you. He probably said, oh, here's Miss Rodriguez. Yeah. He calls you she. I don't want to start a bunch of stuff around this place, but we got some very bizarre attitudes around here.
Maybe it's wishful thinking.
Especially Defoe running around this morning yapping off his big cornball mouth about Hank. And that guy, you know, I'm going to let you say your piece. You know, you're entitled to say whatever you want. To me, Hank's thing is that he is knowledgeable. That's what everybody always says. Maybe that only comes from all the name dropping. I don't know. He was the one that broke the Jimmy Johnson story right on his show, which I still appreciate very much, by the way. He could have called ESPN first. We could have sucked hind wheel there, but we didn't. We got the exclusive world's famous scoop on that with Hank calling in. Because he's making a hell of a lot more from this joint than he is from that ESPN stuff, I would assume. And I'm assuming he's not missing any meals from what I hear. But I thought that he was knowledgeable. Isn't that what the whole thing is? No, seriously, that's the whole deal, that he talks to all these people and he knows all of these things is the whole deal. But whatever. But Defoe thinks that Hank is the weak link on a station that if he would ever have a show. I mean, I don't want to repeat all the nasty things he said this morning because you know that Defoe will weasel out and deny saying them. Am I making anything up? By the way, I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking in general. Am I making anything up?
No.
No. Because I'm sure he didn't think it would be repeated on the air, but it is. Because I think that you have to clean up your own house first before you start pointing the finger or blaming anybody else. If this show were failing, if we were sucking, you know, big time, if we were getting crappy numbers, and I sat here and started blaming the morning show for a lousy lead-in, which it is, but if I started blaming them, you know, that would be bad. Although now that I mention that, here's North Miami. Hello. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how's it going?
Okay.
Yeah, I was just wondering, you know, what do you think the speed limit should be around here, especially, you know, on the Turnpike and places like that, you know, 95?
What does that mean?
I was just wondering, you know, what do you think?
Why were you wondering what I think the speed limit should be? What does that mean?
Well, you know, yesterday I'm driving down the Turnpike.
What, did you get a ticket?
No, everyone slows up, you know, because it's a state trooper, and I see this person coming up, you know, behind me in this Corvette.
Yeah.
You know, going kind of slow, and I'm wondering, you know, why is this person in a nice car going, you know, slow?
I wasn't going slow at all if that was me referring to.
That was true.
I was going slow only because the rubberneckers had slowed down. I couldn't get around them because there was an FHP. I know exactly where you're talking about.
Yeah, it was right before 595.
I wasn't going any slower than I usually go.
65 miles an hour.
Huh?
You're going to like 65.
Yeah, because you couldn't go beyond 65 because everybody had slowed down, jackass, and you're probably one of them if you were out there. I'm glad he brought that up. And by the way, sir, when you find a life, call us back and let us know. He's worried about how fast I'm going on the highway. I don't own a Corvette to try to prove what a big penis I got, because I don't. I've got a little tiny penis. But it's just like these guys at the hockey game. Hey, come on, Worrell, hit somebody, Worrell. Oh, we got a guy in the row in front of us last night with his little kid. I feel sorry for that kid. This guy, I wish I had on tape the crap that this guy was spewing. Come on, Worrell, hit somebody. Can't even pronounce his name. Thinks the big black guy named Peter is a hockey player, like most of these so-called fans out there. So-called being the operative word, okay? And let me say it again, for the 5,000th time, I talked to 6,400 of those people, which is about half the crowd there last night. What are you doing here tonight, guys? They all said,
I don't know.
Yeah. I said, who's that number 28, that dark-complected guy out there? They said,
I don't know.
Yeah, what?
So your doctor just called
and said
he's on his way to the office. He's going to fax the
Well, thank God, Dr. Mark. You see, I don't want to be a pain in his ass. I know he's got a lot of patients who are really sick. They're not hypochondriacs like me. He's a great guy. I like him, even though we had that bizarre hour and a half on Monday, whatever that was. He just wanted to spend a lot of time because he's a groupie. I don't know what it is. He's a good guy. I love Dr. Mark. He's a great guy. And I'm not going to repeat all the stuff he told me unless I don't get those test results in about 5 minutes. Huh?
And
what?
The nephew is dying a wicked death and begs you to please...
You mean they didn't even come for the free gas? They didn't come for the free gas?
Or that's all they came for?
Well, we knew that. First of all, the first 5 cars, they had certificates for free gas at Citgo, 10 gallons free. Citgo Gas, 6924 Miramar Parkway in Miramar. He's there right now with a QM van, okay? Other than that, does anybody want that? See, I'm not going to go through this ever again. Ever again. Sam, if he don't like it, he can blow it out his ass. And the nephew, he can blow it out his ass too, okay? He's a good guy, the nephew, even though he's boring. I'm not going to keep going through this. Give something away that somebody might want. I wouldn't drive from here to the other side of the wall in there for the stuff they're giving away. Bobcats and arena football. Dania Highlight. If they gave people $50 to gamble, they don't want to go to Dania Highlight. You know that as well as I do. You walk into Dania Highlight, the players are there holding their cestas between their legs. They're looking around like, where is everybody? And there's one little poor guy sitting there with his program. You know who that is?
Ed Kaplan.
And that's it. That's all there is. Doing a show on the air, by the way. Those are my favorite shows. Ed Kaplan from the Highlight and from the Dog Track. And when they have Tom Jick out there at the Dog Track with Ed Kaplan, that's like one more people than the rest of the crowd right there. Those two. I hate to break the news to you. The pure mutuals, you can smell the death already, okay? And tickets to the pro water ski and water wakeboard. What is that? How can you give away stuff that nobody even knows what it is? Which if they did know what it is, they still wouldn't want it. But they don't even know what it is. In fact, I asked him before he left here. I looked at the sheet. I said, what is that? And he said,
I don't know.
Yeah, he don't know. But I'm supposed to promote this to get him a crowd out there and a play in Yenamsville in Miramar, where all the trailer trash are out there in Miramar. Isn't that all there? There's no normal people in Miramar. They're all trailer trash out there. You out of your mind? Go to a place where there's some white people who aren't living in a trailer park, okay, under the age of 100. Even if they speak in Hispani, they don't care. They'll take the free. They're all listening. All those spics, they're listening. They love it. In between visiting Westline looking for the glory holes, they love this show. So what else did he say, by the way? He started to say something about Dr. Mark. He's going to fax me, and what else? No, that was about the nephew. And by the way, that's the last plug for the nephew on this. And like I told you before, stop wasting our time with this crap, okay? I guarantee you they took the free gas certificates already. If they didn't take those, then don't blame me. You want some free gas? There you go. All you want. I won't just give you 10 gallons. I'll give you unlimited supply. There you go. Call from New York. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Neil, I'm sitting in my apartment right now in New York City, and
Where do you live? What part of the city?
57th Street.
Oh, boy.
Collecting severance, looking for a job.
Severance from what?
I used to work down in Miami, and they relocated me back up to New York, and then they laid me off.
Nice. New York's a nice place to be unemployed.
Sure.
All that cheap living up there. Not.
Yeah. Well, just tell my mom to keep sending me money.
Keep sending him money, Ma.
Do you want to get my 2 cents on the poll?
Okay.
One, Goldie still makes me deaf even listening on the internet.
Yeah.
And
on the internet, it's even a lot shriller on those little speakers you have on your computer. It's real shrill. It's like nauseating.
And Hank's got more chins than Chinese phone book.
Yeah.
And just because I'm real desperate and I need some kind of excitement, can you play a Mandich highlight from the Dolphin game?
You got it, pal.
Thank you.
Okay. Mandich, any Mandich you want. Now, Jim Mandich, there's no debate about that. Anybody don't like Jim Mandich, and I know there's some. No matter who it is, there's always some peckerhead out there that's going to knock him. Mandich is a great broadcaster, okay? He's a panic. Everybody loves Mandich. In fact, if it were me, I have nothing to do with the way they run this joint, but if it were me, what's that under, by the way? Oh, there it is. I got it. But if there were anybody with a brain in this joint, they'd just write a blank check. They just open a blank check and say, of course, here, they're going to do that? And say to Mandich, we want you on that morning show, okay? And you can decide for yourself which one of the 3 Stooges on there would have to go. Maybe 2 of the 3. But But Mandich on there, we'd actually have a number in there with him on because he doesn't really care that much about just the sports stuff. He is an entertainer. He's funny. He doesn't take it seriously. He's got a sense of humor. He's off the wall, which makes him entertaining. He says stuff that even I can't believe he says. That nobody can believe he says. You know what I'm saying?
You jackass.
Exactly. It's great. He's not just another ex-jock with a thick tongue and a lack of a brain. You know what I'm saying? Not a dullard. But we just don't have the money to open up that checkbook. And pay him those big bucks. Huh? No, that's what it would take, because he's got his construction business. He's working on those erections all the time. He don't have time for this nickel and dime stuff, which he can't get paid by these people on time anyway. Remember that day months ago when he finally got a check, which they owed him for months and months, and on the check it said, don't deposit this until 2 weeks from Sukkot, something like that? Boy, I'm just worn out from this thing. I'm just worked up into a frenzy from it. Have we learned anything?
No.
Killed a good 2 hours, though. Well, we'll keep plodding along. We'll find some real answers to those hidden questions. Dave Hyde's column, I'll get to that, by the way. Another piece of crap. I thought you were going to have a good column today, Dave, in which you're ripping Brian Murray an ass, and then toward the end he starts backing off a little bit. Well, he made the Bure trade. That'll keep him here. Why don't you just tell it like it is? Take the gloves off, Dave, for once in your life. Butch up and be a real man like me. Butch up a little bit. Say that BM's got to go, the spokesman's got to go, and take his brother with him, all right?
The Mad Dog is out of control, and you'll find out why when you hear the latest release from Blockbuster Entertainment. Jim Mandich sings Duet.
Well, all right. Riding around in the breeze. Well, it's all right.
Hear the Mad Dog, Jim Mandich, sing classic rock.
All right. All right.
Jim said he felt a little bit foolish.
Kind of like a eunuch in a whorehouse.
But now, he says,
I like it. I like it.
The Mad Dog just can't kiss enough of that cottage cheese butt.
If he wants me to sing God Bless America and pasties and the G-string up here, I'll do it.
You got soul, and everybody knows that it's all right. All right.
Listen to the Mad Dog sing himself happy.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Miami.
Jim Mandich sings Duet. Available now at all Blockbuster stores.
Don't forget the great Jim Mandich will be here for Hank Goldberg 2 to 6 this afternoon from Shula Steak 2. Donnie B talking baseball after that briefly, and then the Marlins and the Mets. It's 12:02 at 560 QM. Here's a fact. So if you tuned in the middle of the show, by the way, we're talking today about a problem that, well, I don't know if it's a problem or not. I guess it is. Because the numbers on Morning Drive on this station are like flat. They're stale. They're going nowhere, the ratings. And the afternoon is, a little, I would say a little bit better if you extrapolate 2 to 6. But they're really not going anywhere fast. And Defoe was walking around this morning shooting off a big mouth around a building that he believes that Hank Goldberg in the afternoon is the real reason that we've got a problem around this show. In other words, Morning Drive and Afternoon Drive. And that Hank is got no show and no material and, quite frankly, terminal. And has those long, long gaps of dead air and et cetera and so on. Here's a fax, by the way, which is very timely for my having said that, and it's from somebody at FIU, so take that for whatever you will. It says, Jeff DeForest, where the F do you get the temerity to suggest that Hank Goldberg show is the problem with QAM? Where the F do you get off? I've listened to you since WID, and you are talentless and boring. You have no sense of humor except for that cornball stuff, which you and 2 or 3 other nerds find funny, and you'll never change. You have never had an opinion which wasn't so watered down and wishy-washy that it's impossible to tell whether you're pro or con on an issue. About the only thing you've taken a firm stance on are facts so well known and proven that they're irrefutable. Yes, Jeff, 1 and 1 is 2, and Hitler was a bad guy. Beyond that, you have no real opinion, spine, or talent. You should be taken off the air. How dare you even suggest that Hank is the problem, you piece of SH. I hope they can can your ass, and that entire morning show, you effing asshole you. Signed, Fred at FIU. And FU too. Oh, he's a little emotional about that, Fred. He said, I'm from FIU and, and FU too, Default. That was funny. That's what he said. Got a few open lines here on this if you want to sound in on this, as they like to say, whatever that means. 567. Where the hell's our lunch already, by the way? Getting me a nice
It's there now.
Oh, our lunch just got here.
But I got to go get it.
That's okay. I can handle it. What a psychic moment for me, huh? Just as I said that, I heard the intercom ring in George's room. I said, where's our lunch? He said, it's here right now. I've had these psychic vibrations. I ought to be going to the track. You know what I ought to be doing? I ought to be a day trader. I was thinking that yesterday. I got lucky for once in my life. I got rid of that caterpillar just at the right time. I don't care if it goes up to 500. You believe that?
No.
But it won't. But I mean, I don't know about that stuff, being a day trader. You can make so much, and you can lose your ass too. But just the idea of sitting there on your computer on the internet, just trading, buying and selling and losing and plunging, and man, that sounds like my kind of life. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Got a couple of things. Was that the president of the Forest fan club that faxed that in there?
Yes.
The whole sports format, I mean, how many times can you talk about whatever it is? I mean, if they talk from 6 to 10 about the draft, then Hank comes on, and they talk about the draft.
Yeah.
And then the next clown comes on. Whether
you think they'll take a 1 and a 4 for Marshall Falk?
I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, any quote real radio station have a couple hours dedicated to sports, and that's enough.
That's the way it used to be. You know, on IOD we had that 6 to 8, which was never a big ratings thing either. By the way, that was not a real good time of the day. But that was never a real big deal. There, 6 to 8 p.m. And it seemed like more than enough, to be honest with you.
Enough to pacify the audience. And I mean, you know, if they're talking, not that there is hockey talk, but let's say if they did. I mean, I don't want to hear it again at 5 o'clock after I heard. How many times can you rehash Pavel Bore's injury? I mean, it's old. And as far as 2 a.m., their new jingle should be, we give you the stuff you don't want. Okay?
Yeah.
And Hank, I will say this about Hank.
Please.
He's got some things, but I called him a few weeks ago. He said he was having a problem with his mail. And this is not even sports related. And then he said something to me that some guy is delivering the mail, but he's not the mailman. I tried to tell him there's a federal statute. People can't go in your mailbox. And he's like, I don't know what the F, you don't know what the F you're talking about. I'm like, guy, nobody in any condo association is going to have your access to your mailbox other than the mailman.
Yeah.
And he's just going off like he knows. So, you know, he's like a pseudo-intellectual sports guy. He knows some things, but other than that, he don't know.
Okay. Thanks for whatever you just said. What did he say? He said he don't know. Great salad day from Tony's, by the way. Thanks, Brad. Is this from Tony's, I hope? Yes.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Brad. You're the best, sweetheart. My Greek salad. I'm getting off the Atkins. I mean, this is not anti-Atkins, but I'm just not eating so much meat and cheese all the time, you know? Too much goddamn meat, too much cheese. It just doesn't work for me. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to keep trying until that needle moves, and the scale, too. It's like it's frozen. It's like it's frozen in suspended animation in my puppet, too. It just ain't going there. I know, exercise. I know that, fine. I have tried everything besides running 50 miles in about a half an hour, and it just ain't happening. And the doctor tested my thyroid on here. Look at that. The TSH, what is that? Whatever that is. Normal is 0.4 to 5.5. Mine is a 0.9. How do you My thyroid is not only normal, it's especially normal. It's spectacular. It's sensational. My glucohemoglobin, whatever that thing is, my blood sugar over an extended period of time within normal range. It could be a little bit lower, but 6.8, normal is up to 7. That's fine, which means I've kept that blood sugar down there at a nice level. I'm doing a good job of that. But the weight, I'd pay $100,000 right now for somebody to help me lose weight. I'd pay $100,000 to Gregory Reed's money. If I ever hear a little dog say Gregory again, or Greg, that was the worst suck job I ever heard in my life. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
God.
Yes.
How are you?
Great.
Good. A couple of things. First, I do a lot of day trading, number one.
Yeah.
And it's
does it make you neurotic?
It makes you like crazy because I have bad news for you. Like you said, you don't care, but we know we all care a little the day after. It's 64 now. Up 3.
Caterpillar is up to 64?
Yes, sir.
Oi! Too late now. I don't care.
I know.
Do you know what I'm saying? Haven't you ever had a deal like that?
It happened to me yesterday. I sold this. I mean, I pushed the button, sold the stock, and it's 48 when I'm selling it, and as it's sold, it's 47 because it's, it takes a little while to execute.
Right.
And then it goes to 50, so you just have to learn to live with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, that thing was down to 39, and for months it was going like 44 and 45, and I kept getting it, and all the experts were downgrading it and saying, it's a piece of crap, and they got all this exposure in Russia and Asia, and I'm so tickled to get 60 and 5/8 and make a few bucks. I don't care what it goes.
All of a sudden, it's a god stock.
Right.
Okay, number one.
And the techs are all in the toilet, of course, now.
The techs are getting hammered today, and I'm
just like
glad.
yesterday.
It's like, if you have the balls to, can I say that?
Yes.
The balls to step in and buy these stocks, then you're going to make a lot of money. But today they're all getting, yesterday and today, all these
hammered,
just horribly
butchered.
It's a bloodbath. I listen to the first team a little bit, but basically between Howard and the first team, how much? And like you said 1,000 times, you just can't. It's the same stuff recycled over and over and over. And I have to say, Hank is good, but he's, I think, saddled with this sports thing, so he has to have a sports show, I think, he feels. So, but if he had a regular show like you, not your show, but just a show on talking, he's good. He's funny.
I mix a little sports in there, but I enjoy when Hank is talking, bitching about his landlord and about all these other things. I enjoy it much more when he's talking non-sports things.
Exactly.
But once the callers start with that draft crap and the same old, what is your take, the gamblers, what is your take on this game? Who cares what his take is on his game? Go to GA and get some help,
Yeah, I've been there too.
God.
Anyway, not lastly, but I just wanted to know if anyone is, I've missed part of the show today because I actually do have a little bit of a life.
Right.
But I was flipping it around last night in the television too, and I was watching basically Geraldo with Susan McDougal, which was great. But then I switched to Larry King, our favorite debtor. What he is, the person who owes money. And you know who he got on?
Who's that?
Ken Starr.
Oh no, he wasn't sucking his ass, was he?
He was licking it on the air.
Ken Starr, who all of a sudden decided that he was the whole thing was heinous and stick it in the anus and whatever.
But then he defends everything he did on, and Larry's like throwing. He didn't throw softballs. He threw marshmallows, and he was Ken.
Yeah.
I mean,
always invite Larry to your weenie roast because he'll always bring the marshmallows.
It's so sad that he does that. And
I know how to do a talk show.
Yeah, he knows how to suck ass. Okay, gotta go, pal. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
Punch your brains out. There's a guy having a good time. Caterpillar 64. Oh, boy. Like I said, I am upset. It's 11 afternoon at 560 WQM.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil Gott.
Dear Alanis, I don't know if you remember me, but I was the guy whose house you set on fire last year. God, I miss you, even though you blew up my car and cut all my hair off. I miss you, girl. But one quick question, do you think you could let me know when you might let me out of this pit? No one's fed me for weeks, but I'm not complaining. Don't misunderstand me, because I love you with all my heart. But if you happen to see my mother, please let her know I'm not dead yet. Dear Alanis, I want to tell you that the guy you saw with your best friend, that wasn't me. He might have looked and talked just like me, but that's surely purely coincidental. I was nowhere near that place. I love you too much to look at anyone else. Dear Alanis, I had a dentist appointment that day, and I was nowhere near the Sheraton Meadowlands Hotel. I would never cheat on somebody who treats me so good and wins all those Grammys, has all that money. Hey, come on, let me out of the pit, will you?
No. 12:17 at 560 WQAM. Here's a fax, a hostile, a wild, psychotic fax. Well, we got the blood boiling out there today, baby.
Uh-huh.
Gonna have to, put a few D's in this one. It says, Ray DeForest is a f***ing asshole. Begins with an F. You. So Jeff DeForest says Hank brings down the station. Sounds like he's jonesing to get Hank off the air. How did that f***ing, begins with an F, maggot like it when Jeff Rimjob was licking Big Cottage Cheese ass for one of his jobs. Jeff and those hacks are good at taking shots at other people, but their real talent is wearing that orange vest and saying, welcome to Kmart or Walmart. Those guys are effing boring, and DeForest not only has no balls, but is a backstabbing sucker. I can't say the word on here. I can give you a hint. It's spelled like C-O-C-K. Okay. He can't shine Hank's shoes, but he would probably like to and then brag about it and try to put all the shoe shiners out of business. And then it concludes by saying, Jeff DeForest is a human blowjob, is what it says. So evidently, Jeff, with his aberrant behavior around it, and he did make reference to it this morning. I heard him talking about the fact that he was even in here sucking around with George, discussing the programming on the radio station. In other words, placing the blame all on Hank's big fat shoulders for whatever problems we might have. I mean, it's not that the station's doing badly. It's just that we could have bigger numbers in the morning and afternoon, especially while considering the fact we have no competition on the AM band anyway. So is that guy a little bit emotional or what? How do you spell that? Here's Coral Gables. Hello. Coral Gables. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I like that CK. Was that from CKLW?
Was that from what?
CK.
Yes.
Okay. As far as your poll question?
CKLW.
Yeah.
Okay. From the poll question, the worst team blows.
Okay, that's enough of that. Go ahead.
The worst team blows. Hank is okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. We're trying to get to the bottom, to the root of all evil, okay? We did have one person that called the show today that says they only listen between 10 and 2, do not listen to the other shows on this station, so I guess that kind of disqualifies them from having an opinion, or maybe there's a reason they don't listen to those other shows. Maybe they have a life and they don't want to hear, like, if it's a 1 and a 4, going to get Marshall Falk, because who gives a Falk when you come right down to it? 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Does anybody with a brain really, racking their brain about stuff like that?
No.
No. I mean, it's of interest to people who are sports nerds, who are fans, who want to spend a lot of money or somebody else's money to go see stuff, guys in tight uniforms rolling around on the ground, grabbing each other's crotch, stuff like that. Hey, come on, hit somebody, Worrell. Come on, Worrell. Didn't he pitch yesterday for the Mets, Worrell Hershiser? Here's Hialeah and beat the Marlins. Here, Hialeah, hello.
Hi, this is Benny Tocamelo.
Yeah, right, Benny Tuchas, is that what you said, sir? With your tired, stale, old Julio act? Very, very sad, I would have thought by now you'd have found some boyfriend at the tea room over there in Westland. Somebody desperate enough to touch you somewhere? Like maybe on your
rectum.
5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. How's that fax machine coming? I hear it tapping away back there. Something's tapping. Get those damn numbers from that doctor already, for crying out loud. Come on, Dr. Mark, okay? Enough potsking around over there. Enough whatever oral stuff you're doing. Let's get with it. Here's a mobile in Opelika. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm a big, huge first team fan, and I'll tell you, I think DeForest is the funniest guy on the radio. I think he's really witty. I think Joe Rose has got some real cojones, and not just some kind of sham put-up shtick that he does on the radio.
I like the wee-wee.
Yeah.
It's a great show. I enjoy it. I think I'd like to talk about your ratings. I think they're bogus. I think they're bogus for the same reason the Latin ratings are bogus.
Right.
I think every guy in town that's a little light in the loafers just automatically puts down the Neil Rogers.
In other words, is that why you're listening now? Are you lighting the loafers?
Nope. I heard you talking about the first team, and
Well,
how could
you hear it unless you listen to the show?
Because I leave the radio on. I got in the car, and there it was. You're talking about.
So in other words, only the fags put down that they listen to the show, huh?
No, there are plenty of other people that put it down. But when you add the fags to the plenty of other people,
sir, I hate to break the news to you, sir, but the percentage of fags I have in this audience, and I've been here for 23 years, you could put them in a phone booth and have room left over for Maria Callas.
I've listened to your show since you were on with John Broward. So I'm not saying I don't
So what are you talking about then? What does that mean?
I'm saying your numbers are inflated. I think they're about like
Well, sir, then let me ask you this. If that's the case, how come, the sponsors that I've had on for years and years, how come they get this unbelievable response, and you'll notice that they stay on the show year after year? You think it's because they're all a bunch of, they're lighting the loafers, or they just like the way I look?
No, I'm saying you add those, right?
You what?
You like the Latin numbers. Oh, plenty of.
Yeah. Okay, your new phone will call me back someday, okay, sir, when your phone works? I mean, I'm willing to listen. I can take all the shots you want, but I mean, the numbers are bogus? Not the numbers in one book. And did it ever dawn on you, sir, since only like maybe 10% of the population are as light in the loafers as you would suggest, which you didn't want to say faggots, the odds of that many of them getting diaries month after month, trend after trend, book after book is so minuscule, but it's this tremendous luck I've had is what it is, that these numbers are bogus. Sir, there is nobody in this industry who believes that. There's nobody in this business who believes that these numbers are bogus. That would be saying that Hank's numbers are bogus because all the fat Jews put it down. Or in the morning, all the people with high squeaky voices put down the worst team because they can relate to Geldy. I mean, that's what that's all about. See, what he doesn't want to understand is that there are these enormous number of people who listen who will never put it down. Like maybe him. All the homophobic religious assholes who are out there listening right now as I speak, who would be listening 24 hours a day if I were on 24 hours a day, who would never turn it off and have been listening to me for years. They'll never put it down because they feel it's like voting for me. So maybe that evens itself out. Those people light in the loafers, and then of course, there are all those doctor troublemakers, too. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I heard you say that you thought you were being a pain in the ass because you want your reports.
I don't want to be a pain in the ass.
No, you're not.
And I got let's see, page 2. How come I got page 2 again? What happened to page 1?
The first page 1 didn't have any changes on it, so I figured I'd save your fax paper and not have.
No, I don't want to save the fax paper. I want to see the numbers.
You just want
what do you mean it didn't have any changes on it?
The material on page 2 was exactly the same as it had been before, but it's all on its way back through again to you. I'm making up for lost time. Listen,
so in other words, it's still high. Those numbers that were high, like the BUN, the BUN, is still 25.
Well, they're not going. You got them the day before, Neil.
I got what?
You got them all the day before.
No, I did not.
Okay. Anyway, it's on its way.
Don't tell me he's having another one of those days.
No, sir.
No, he's not having one of those days today. Is he having another
one?
No,
sir. I've got some sleep in the past few days. It cost me that staying awake over the weekend.
Oh, here we go. I got the other page now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look here. Total protein is down from 9 point whatever it was to 8.6, which is fine, right?
Yep. Yeah, we talked about this on the phone the other day.
But we didn't talk about BUN.
Your BUN is 16.
We're down from 25.
Still within the normal range.
Yeah, but I understand what you're going to say, but psychologically, don't you understand, my good doctor friend? Don't you understand that those of us who have become neurotic, either because of previous pill doctors or because we're getting old and getting ready to die or whatever the reason might be, that we like seeing, especially when we've read that taking hydrochlorothiazide, which you did not put me on and which you did get me off, and thank you, and the cardizem's working great just like it always used to, like seeing a better number. Do you know what I'm saying?
I kind of do, but see, it's sort of like having a philosophical position. You want to see the difference between two normals, and I already know that the last one was normal.
But 25 is like right on the edge, and there are some books, by the way, which say that anything above 18 or 20 is not normal.
And there's some books that say 20. I mean, really, it's a matter of the laboratory.
But 16 is a nice number. I can live with that.
Yeah, it is. And the ratio is good. We talked about that.
There you go. I see. I feel better already.
Amazing.
It's psychological. You should know that. You should know we're all a bunch of bastards.
You'll forgive me for being a groupie?
And what about my homocysteine? I mean, my homo number we know is high, especially that last guy. Well, that's not
yours is a 6, as I recall.
It is?
But that's what you told me.
Well, I've never had it taken before.
No, your homo number. That's what you said.
No, we're not talking about sex, okay? You are so obsessed with sex, and so am I, but let's leave that for off the air, okay? Let's talk about well, you don't have that yet, right?
No. That takes about a week.
Now, how do you like Hank's doctor telling him that because his blood sugar reading and his blood test was normal, he's no longer diabetic?
Well, I think that's kind of an irresponsible thing to do.
Right.
Because, when you like what you've done here, you've corrected your long-term sugar problem, but you know that as soon as you go off a diet, you're going to pop right back into being diabetic again.
If I had one of those disadvantage bars right now, my blood sugar would go skyrocketing. And don't ever let any of your patients eat those, by the way.
Which one of those?
The Atkins Advantage. I call them disadvantage
I heard
bars.
your story yesterday.
They taste like, and even though it says 2 grams, I had 2 of them here 2 days ago. My blood sugar when I went home was 200.
Yep.
And you know that's from carbohydrates.
Most likely.
Absolutely. Well, these look pretty good, by the way. I don't see anything on other than the cholesterol. We got to get that down. But again, the HCT could have had something to do with that.
And it'll all take about 8 weeks to fix.
Great.
I mean, you can check it whenever you want, but I'm just telling you, in order to make the value.
And this protein, no inflammation, the C-reactive under 5, which is in normal range.
Right.
So in other words, doctor, how do I feel? Great. I feel great. I feel like you've redeemed my life.
I think. Well, I also. When I heard you saying you didn't want to be a pain in my ass today, I thought to myself, well, that just comes with the territory. I mean, I know that when I do your work, I'm going to be hearing from you over and over and over again.
Well, you like the publicity.
Well, I guess it's worthwhile. What can I say? Plus, I told you the other day. I mean, when I was on absolute full tilt, get out of my way. I'm running the place by myself.
The word you're looking for is crazy.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I was being crazy.
You were. You're a little crazy. That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm like that every day. Okay, thanks, Mark.
Right off. Bye.
See ya. Okay, good news from Dr. Mark.
Oh!
Tell Jeff Cohen to wait. Okay, I'll get to him eventually, too, and everybody else. Oh, I feel, I'll get to that. Wouldn't you feel better if the number of something that could be bad is 16 instead of 25, 25 being on the edge of upper edge? Well, I think set Defoe off this morning, got him on his wild tirade against everybody else in the building, especially Hank. Was, he's got this on-again, off-again marriage thing. He's got the longest ongoing either divorce or lack of divorce anybody I've ever known, And it's a fiery, rocky marriage, And when Joe Rose this morning was overheard when Defoe was asking him what he ought to do, and Joe said,
I dumped the bitch right now.
And I think that's what set him over the edge. Don't you? I think that's what did it. Oh, speaking of people who know something about that, here's Jeff Cohen.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to compliment the classy organization over at CityLink on the quality of their editorializing and writing skills. I mean, they are right on the money in just about everything they put in their newspaper.
Yeah.
What a suck-up job that was.
So I just,
I hate to break the news to you, and I'm on the same page with Michael Mayo in there, so I don't take it with that, with 10 grains of salt, and also you're on the same page with 75 other pizza joints in there. Like I said yesterday, it would have been nice if they would have honored you and given you the accolades you deserve, but instead, every 10 blocks in Broward and Palm Beach, they've got a different pizza place, depending on whether you live on the east side of the road, the west side of the road. So it was nice you were in there, and you deserve it, but,
Well, only at the loft do they drive from all over town, so
right.
They take the other people into consideration.
But I would definitely say that when it comes to a pizza place right behind Pier 1 Imports on University Drive in Davie, there's nobody who holds a candle to the pizza loft.
Well, it's very nice of you to say.
North of Griffin Road and just south of 595.
Right. Did you know
on the east side of the road only, kitty corner of Sadie's Buffet.
Which isn't there
anymore. Which you notice, by the way, is another nice big
That's not there
I'm
anymore.
sure you know. What's that?
Sadie's is gone.
Well, it's gone?
Yep.
They all died?
Oy! It's now a Piccadilly cafeteria.
Oy vey, Piccadilly.
And the people are going nuts when they show up for the all-you-could-eat, and they don't have that anymore. It's like a regular cafeteria.
Good. They should. They're animals anyway. Let them lose their souls.
Right. Anyway, I wanted to say hello and thank you for mentioning.
Now, you're another guy this asshole that calls 2 calls ago, which I don't really care who's been listening to me since John Broward was on, which is 100 years ago on INZ. Remember those horrible days at the nighttime show? And it'll give me a song and dance about the ratings on this show are bogus because I got all these people who are light in the loafers, to use his expression, who write it down, okay? So all those people that come into your restaurant, what percentage of the people that come in from the show would you say are light in the loafers? You get a few.
1%, 2%.
1%.
Yeah, that's how it is. There's a lot of women.
You get mostly married young people with families.
Right.
I don't want to put words in your mouth,
that's our clientele.
That's your clientele,
that's it, man. We advertise on Nickelodeon for the kids.
Right.
It's families.
Now, unless they're a bunch of pedophiles and they just kidnap those kids, I would assume that they're doing something.
I don't think that's on the money.
No.
Right. Hey, did you know that you could register at the loft to be the pizza delivery guy of the game at all the Bobcat home football games at the
No, I didn't know that. And you know something, I probably would have survived without knowing it, but I'm delighted to hear about it.
I just thought you might want to know.
Since nobody wants those tickets. Okay, Jeff, nice talking to you.
Neil, have a great week.
Life. Okay, and watch yourself because a lot of stuff going around.
Okay.
And whatever it is, he's getting it. 5670560. I'm telling you seriously. I mean, can't we discuss that for a minute or so? I think most people, why is my doctor, he's a good guy, but he's such a hard ass, People want to see better results. The reason they have their blood test taken, I realize that these things vary a little bit, but for crying out loud, when the normal, like on the bun, which is your kidneys for Christ's sake, when normal is like 6 to 25, and you had a reading before of 25, which I did, that's right on the edge. and you've had some back pains, and you're starting to go because you were taking that other drug, and now you retake it, and it's 16 points. Oh! You say, yeah, now I feel better, and I'm off that crap that the other doctor was peddling me. Why is that so hard to understand? And the same with the white blood count. Instead of 9-point-something, it's 8.7, which is well within the normal range. But you don't want to be walking around with a high white blood count, because it means like you're fighting some minor thing, which is probably what I had for like 3 months, like a very minor viral infection of some kind, which we'll never know what it was. And who cares? Because now I'm feeling great because I see the blood test results. And thank you, Dr. Mark. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's a lady in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
I was calling in regard to your poll.
Yes? Hang on one second. Okay, I want to get that feedback out of there. Is that better?
Hello?
It's better, yeah. Hold on.
It's better?
A little better.
Okay. I'll try to speak up.
No, it's not you. It's our phone system. It's a piece of crap.
Well, yeah. You can say that again.
Mm-hmm. It's a piece of crap.
I listen basically, I'll put up with statics to try to listen to Bob and Tom over the worst team.
Right.
But then I'm not exactly their demographic. That's pretty obvious. If you ever listen to them, if they're trying to attract women, they've got the whole other different side.
Who's that, Bob and Tom?
No.
Oh, you mean the worst team? Oh.
If they're trying any show on this station, if they think they're going to get a woman's audience, except for this one.
And by the way, for this jackass that calls me before about the Light and the Loafers crowd out there, we don't have a giant women listening audience, but if you look at the women, this is the only show on this station that has an appreciable number of women listening.
Exactly.
The other shows old points in women. Because how many women out there, unless they were jock sniffers or petunia pigs with their noses up against the glass at the Macarena, how many want to hear about who's going to draft this one all day, 20 hours a day?
Exactly. But coming to Hank.
Yes.
I wanted to mention to you, because you mentioned the other day about that you'd fight with your last breath the building of any new stadiums in this town.
Yes, absolutely correct.
Have you ever heard him brag about how he took Don Smiley and the mayor downtown Miami to show them exactly where the new stadium should be, and how all this work he's done to try to make sure that it gets built here, and it should, and he deserves to have the stadium named the Goldberg Stadium with all the work he's done.
That's a joke.
Promoted.
That's a joke.
And then he's had people call him and say if there's a new stadium in downtown Miami that people in Broward wouldn't go. He hangs up and says, well, good riddance to you. Nobody cares if you're coming or not.
Mm-hmm. Well, keep in mind, Hank is the last Jew living in Dade County. Keep that in mind.
Well, that's true. But I really think he's serious about it.
Well, Mandich is also pushing this thing. As much as I love Mandich, I mean, he's got to be doing drugs or something to be saying they should build a stadium in Miami right by that new American Airlines arena, 3 blocks away from the old crappy arena that nobody wants to go to.
I understand that. I understand it. Well, that's again.
Well, I got news for you. Both Mandich and the Hump are going to have to step over my dead body before any tax money is going to be spent to build a goddamn new stadium for a baseball team that nobody goes to, that nobody cares about.
And they're talking about how it makes
nobody
Cleveland
wants to buy
better.
any spots on the broadcast, by the way. You want to buy some spots, sweetheart?
I can't buy a stick of gum right now.
Okay.
Thanks anyway.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye.
She don't want to buy no spots on the Marlin games, does she?
No.
No. How about if the Marlin games were on... on that station. 56705, better there than us. Let them pay the damn thing, okay? All those broadcast rights, $3.7 million a year. Oh, God. Please buy some spots on the Marlins. Please, buy some Marlins.
I want to bang you in the butt, honey.
The following is a paid public service announcement from the International Rifle Association.
Let's face it, most of us will never be rich. Hell, we probably won't even be successful, and that's pretty damn depressing. But, as usual, with every problem, there is a solution. Hi, I'm Jim, and I'm here to tell you a little something about handguns. They scare the shit out of people, intimidate them into giving you whatever you want. That's right, handguns. Think about it. Need some cash? Rob a bank. Don't have enough money for beer? Pull up a convenience store. Take some chips and pretzels while you're at it. It's all free if you've got a handgun. Some son of a bitch cheating on your girlfriend? Kill him. The simple solution to life's complex problems. All you have to do is wait the 5 days for it, and happiness is just around the corner. Hell, if you don't want to wait the 5 days, who cares? Buy the damn thing off the street. Just buy a lot of handguns. It's a great alternative to working problems out and can be considered a population controller. Yes, handguns. They just might make you famous.
1245 at 560 WQM. So anyway, that caller, I mean, not that I really care what he says, but it was just so bizarre that a guy who's been listening that long and isn't so much now, not that I'm, he's not lighting the loafers, but see, stop and think about one thing when you analyze that. when we do our Center One fundraiser, what was the one border store where they were taking merchandise from to put in all the other stores when they were running short? Coconut Grove. Now, if you take the Schwarzers on one side of the railroad tracks, who are the majority of the people that live in the Grove? Gay people, okay? For years, overwhelmingly. Where's the other large pocket in Dade County, for example, of gays, besides Little Havana? South Beach. Now, when's the last time we had a call? How many calls a year do we get from either Coconut Grove or South Beach? You could count them on the fingers of one hand, right? Few, if any. That's not where our audience is, sir. And I just take umbrage with the notion that because, I mean, this isn't San Francisco. I can understand what he's saying. If I were here in San Francisco, oh yeah, let's put down, we're listening to the fag, 20 hours a day. I can understand that. But in this market, it may come as a great shock to you, sir. It's a liability, not a benefit. Trust me when I tell you, or not as the case may be, whatever you like. And have a nice day. 5670560, I'd like the Julios, for example. How many of them won't even speak unless they call to say, maricon, maricon? And that should be proof in the pudding right there. Because there's an enormous number of them listening religiously, if you pardon that expression, daily to the show. We know that for a fact. But are they all even going to get those diaries for the very same point that he made? That Mamacita grabs the mail when it comes, and they wrote QBA, RHC, whatever they're writing down, because they're voting there. They're doing their anti-Castro good deed for the day.
And they wouldn't write you down anyway.
And that's my point. That's exactly my point. So I'm glad we got another ratings expert on there. He could be a consultant. He could be the next Walter Sabo. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Uncle Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing? Married guy, young married guy with a family.
Yeah. You're not lighting the loafers now, are you?
No. The first team, they suck. Bob and Tom rock. And as far as Hank goes, having to sit there and listen to him eat on the air, the only thing I could think that would be worse than that would be having to sit there and watch him at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm out of material.
So you like his show? Okay, thank you. So he likes Hank's show. We just don't want to hear him eat. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Well, maybe the fact that I'm a daintier eater than some of these guys. Oh, there's a guy that was at the hockey game last night.
It was his mother.
I know that was your mother. And I told Joe Costello this morning, I said, Corey was at the game with his mother last night. I saw him down in the first row up by the glass in the first period. He said, oh, how do you know it was his mother? What? No, he said to me, he said, how do you know it was his mother? I said, well, she was like older than he was by a long shot. And he said, well, he might have been. How would I know who you're dating? I don't know. He said, no, well, knowing Corey, it might have been his date. You're dating 45-year-old women? Or
no,
however, I don't want to say. Huh?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment, but he would. You were far away, but she looked very nice. Oh, happy birthday, Ma. Okay. And how come you left after the first period? Yeah.
The glass, she was too close to the glass. She was getting a little nervous, so she wanted to go back to the suite.
Excellent choice, so you could actually see something. I mean, it's prestigious to sit down by the glass, but you can't see a damn thing.
You're absolutely right.
Not
you can't see the whole other side.
And of course, then when you went up to the box and you actually saw the game, you said, what are we doing here? I mean, that was
the point. We gave the tickets to someone that was in the suite.
Good for you. Okay, so unlike what Joe Costello was starting this morning, see, everybody in the building, they must be going around starting trouble, okay? Thank God I don't pull that crap. Everybody's looking to make a little trouble today. That's good. It's nice to be mischievous once in a while. Stir the pot, then smoke it. Corey was there at the hockey game with his mother last night because it was his birthday, which I think is a nice thing for any Jewish boy to take Ma to the hockey game for her birthday. And Joe Costello's in here. It was probably some chick he was dating. He dates 70-year-old women. Here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got a brand new Expedition, and these goddamn gravel trucks driving on the turnpike, all they can do is chip my brand new paint.
Okay, hate it.
Bitches. Anyway, listen.
I hate that.
That sucks.
Well, I'm eating on the air again. I'm sorry. Now I'm making sounds.
You know what? You eat on the air, nobody complains. Poor old fat Hank eats on the air, everybody complains.
I do that purposely. I make all kinds of grotesque
I don't know
noises
why.
while I'm eating. That doesn't bother them.
I think those people are
what
just
a lot of
trying
these people don't understand is this show isn't one-dimensional. It's entertaining. They have a good time. They get a few laughs. They get pissed off. It reaches a broad range of people who aren't just interested in whether the kid that they're going to draft on Saturday has got a large penis or not.
Yeah, I hear
Although we
you.
will be talking about that tomorrow.
On your station, the only people I really care for are you and Mandich, and I think the thing you guys have in common is that you guys shoot from the hip.
Yeah.
You guys just tell it like it is.
Well, he'll be here at 2 o'clock, okay? And he's going to tell you about his crush for Tommy Brady today at 2.
And that's about it. And in closing,
Yes,
I
sir.
live in the Grove, and I live in Coconut Grove.
I bet
and
you don't know anybody there who listens to the show.
I don't know, but I don't think there are that many fags there.
In the Grove? Will they all move out?
I mean, there's a few around, but you know.
Like on Murray Street?
How about Virginia Street?
Most of the guys who live on Murray Street are named Murray.
Yeah,
And most of the guys who live on Virginia Street are named Virginia.
All right, Neil, you big fag. I love
Okay,
you.
see you.
Bye.
See what I mean? 5670560. Yeah, there's no fags in the Grove. There's no fags in South Beach. There's no fags anywhere. We just made it up. Who would do anything disgusting like that? Oh, that was bad when I was just saying that. Did you notice that? Huh? My timing was not good there. I'm not going to say anything, okay? He's a good guy. But I'm not going to start that Tommy stuff, okay? I mean, it's enough that we already started with poor Corey and his mother. It was her birthday, which I thought that was a sweet thing for him to do. He's a good guy. And now you want to start up with poor Tommy there in the morning, who's also I'll tell you one thing. You know, some of the people that work in this radio station don't realize they better kiss the ground. They got a good bunch of people that work here, most of them for peanuts, for nothing. There's a good bunch of guys here. I don't want to start mentioning names. I'll leave somebody out. But all these sports nerd guys, they work their asses off and they get bitched out and chewed out and treated like crap and underpaid. We got some good people in here, okay? Now maybe if we can get Tommy some new sneakers, maybe from New Balance, so he can run fast. Well, here's South Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, sir? We got a whole bunch of stuff going on in this place.
I'm listening. Sports team, I go between them and Howard and Castronovo.
Right. You also listen to Paul Castronova. You're the one.
I like Castronovo, but the music sucks. They're starting to play like sorry stuff like The Coast and, sorry. The thing about Hank talking about the stadium yesterday, how it was his idea and he got these two people together and this and that. He swears to God that if they build something down there, they're going to renovate downtown. And I felt like calling him, but I didn't. What are you talking about? They've had the chance at the arena. They're not
These people
down
don't
there.
understand. This isn't Cleveland. It's not Baltimore. It isn't going to happen. In addition to which, it wouldn't make any difference what they built downtown. The fact is, the reason most people moved out of Dade County is they don't want to go downtown. I mean, no matter what's there, they're not going to go.
And he's he's hostily opposed to having it out by the arena because there's nothing out there and this and that, and I want to be able to go to a bar and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. He says he sounds a little crazy sometimes. That's it. Christina? Gone?
Gone. Okay. Of course, everybody knows that Christina would be gone. Not a major bulletin. You know who I'm talking about, Christina.
Moron.
Yeah, she's gone. Last game, Saturday night, Christina Moron will disgrace once again. Just amazing. This guy must have like a whole house full. He must have a drawer full. He must have a closet full of naked pictures. 6 years he stuck around here with his droning, non-descriptive, inadequate, unacceptable style. 5670560, pound 560, and the mobile one line. Here's North Miami. Hello.
Hey, I agree totally. I hear the Mad Dog and
You agree with what? We've had a
wide variety. This isn't Cleveland. This is Detroit. This isn't Boston.
Oh, you mean downtown?
Downtown.
Right.
People, are not going to go there.
No, they're not. They don't want to go there.
I don't care if they are giving away free. I can't say that. But anyway,
free sex.
Right.
Free
Morty
blowjob.
is terminal. Those guys, it's just terminal.
Yeah.
And then, Hank's, he's an angry Jew guy, and I've been around angry Jews all my life.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah.
I worked at Bal Harbor all my life.
Oh, boy.
So, what I'm talking about. The Harbor House,
And the Rascal House.
And the Rascal House. But another thing I want to pick a bone with you about.
Go ahead.
Is, I know you're, this draft crap, you know. I know it's just terminal.
Oh.
But you've been picking on automobile racing. I know Joe
Yeah.
Castello, he's got this show. It's a little bit too early for me on a Saturday morning. But drag racing is really cool. You know, you got to.
I'm not into drag myself.
You got. I know that you're a straight shooter.
I'm a little light in the loafers, but I'm not into drag. I'm a little
anyway,
more macho than that.
I just went to Gainesville, the Gator Nationals, about a month ago.
The what?
The Gator Nationals.
The Gay Internationals?
Yeah, Gator Nationals in Gainesville. Gainesville's a fun town.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Never been there.
It is college town. I spent about 4 nights there, and man, I tell you.
Bet they got a lot of hot college students there in Gainesville, it would seem to me, when you got that big of a university. I bet there's a lot of people getting laid up there.
I'm a young 40s, and I tell you what, I had no problems at all. But anyway.
Yeah, man.
But drag racing, you got to see it to believe it, because, I mean, these cars, they go from 0 to 320 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds. And the noise, it's almost...
Well, you know me, I just poke along 65.
Yeah, I heard that earlier. Well, the speed limit on that's a turnpike is 65 anyway.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You going to go...
Well, no, see, what the guy didn't want to admit was the fact, maybe he did see me because I was there, was that there was a FHP porker pulled over the side of the road, not with anybody else, just sitting there. And so naturally, everybody becomes paralyzed and they all slow down. And I had no choice. You can't get around all 3 lanes, so I'm just going with the flow, which until I got by and I zoomed around them.
You can go 67, 68. They're not going to bother.
I go 75 on there at minimum.
Really?
Yes. I'm not sure why not. Speed limit 65. They should give you 10 miles.
Exactly. I just made the trip up to Gainesville on the turnpike, and what a nice ride it is. 4.5 hours. The speed limit being 70.
I think I'm going up there this weekend.
No, next March you got to go.
Okay.
All right, Neil.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
I'm going to go up to Gainesville and get me some something. 12:57 at 560 WQM. Of course, there's a lot of people lighting the loafers up there. Any university campus, there's lots of those guys. Well, that guy can have them. I prefer my men a lot more macho than that.
Oh boy, it's the 1 to 2 hour.
How I love to lick a clit, and that is why I become a singing lesbian nun. Sister Mary Catherine was so impressed with what I'd done, she gave me action with her son. Can you conceive for believe that this song went to number 1?
Yes.
Because I was a nun. Found a way to make some cash and hope the royalties will last, because retired nuns don't get none. I never made it that big because I didn't look that great, so I got me a new habit, doing drugs and getting laid. Had my one and only hit, and then the Vatican got pissed. The Pope said, there's my vig. Now that I'm dead, I can reveal how much I wanted Sally Field to go whistling in my wheat field.
Okay, it's 102 at 560 WQM. Don't forget, we got Jim Mandich.
All right.
For Hank from 2 to 6 this afternoon. Hank's taking the day off because he's really pissed at Defoe. No, I don't know why. No, I don't know why he's taking the day off. Anyway, here. Do you? We don't know what he's not doing here. Hank's just got one of those schedules, Well, he said he was doing something for ESPN, and then he was going up to Louisville. He's going to be away for Derby week for a week, et cetera, and so on. He's got a rough schedule, and more power to him. Here's a fax that says, I can't agree more with the guy from FIU. Jeff DeForest effing sucks. He is the most unlistenable person on the radio in Miami or beyond. The way he has to say in 100 words what he could have said in 5, with those effing stupid ass analogies of his, as in rectum. Right. He makes no comments that any idiot doesn't already know. He knows only what he's read in the Herald. He's the biggest ass sucker ever born. Doesn't the GM of that station listen to his own effing station?
No.
Defo Blow, sincerely, Carlos with a name, with a last name. See, I respect it more when they sign it. I think it's a lot more credible like that. In fact, when I see it signed like with a real name, I say, this guy probably has a point because he signed his name. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, Mr. Rogers. Good afternoon.
Buenos dias.
I just got back in town, and I might say you're a breath of fresh air, my good Jewish friend.
Yes.
But George was a little abrupt. Last time I was in town, he was in the midst of one of those 80s flashback shows, and it was awesome. So I just want to thank him. He was rather abrupt on the call over there.
Because he's eating lunch right now. He don't have.
I know he can't be bothered. Listen, that guy was wrong about the Grove. A lot of fags in the Grove.
Of course there are. This guy, he's in denial, you know.
Oh, right behind that South.
Either that or he's very slow, or else he's having a good time. He thinks they're just being friendly.
I can say that is Wilton Manors.
I know that.
Oh, a lot of rainbow flags.
We don't get any calls from Wilton Manors. We get no calls from the Grove except that guy. We get no calls from South Beach. And anybody who thinks that this show is loaded with a fag audience is never met the audience.
And you know what's funny? I deliver all over South Florida, and I go to Hialeah a lot.
Right.
And I deliver Medicina, and every time I go to these houses, they never speak English, but 560 QAM is always on between 3 and 2.
There you go.
I'd say 1 out of every 5 houses.
Hasta que termitas.
And yesterday when I was listening to Hank, you know what makes Hank, I mean, when you eat, you know, you're not a bad-looking guy except for that little mole on the top of your head.
Yeah, my doctor doesn't want to take that off. He's afraid I'm going to get too much action.
You know,
So he said,
including that, you're not so bad to look at, and when you think of you eating, you don't have a bad picture. But when you think of Hank eating,
yeah,
you can hear him regurgitating and burping and
that's
the
a good
jowls,
point.
and you just think,
yeah,
Jabba
you're right.
the Hutt, you know?
Excellent point. God bless you, my friend.
Listen, I love you, Neil.
See ya.
Bye.
Okay. Never thought about that too. It is, it's a different, a horse of a different color, you know. I mean, my eating, I'm a little more dainty in the way I eat, you know. But Hank is, he just shovels it down, which is fine. But it's not something we want to listen to on the air in the middle of the afternoon. We don't want to hear Hank eating, filling his face on the air, because first of all, it's not good for him, especially now that he's not a diabetic anymore. Does anybody believe that?
No.
You notice my doctor who's real diplomatic. He said, I think it's a little irresponsible. If Hank's doctor really did say that to him, that he's not diabetic anymore because one blood test, his blood sugar was okay, then his doctor ought to be taken out in the backyard right here and put out of his misery, okay, before he dispenses any more bull crap. And like I said, we're going to be hearing from Princess Diana a little later. She's just announced she's not dead. Anymore. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. See, I think, I could be wrong, but I think Hank is a little bit uptight about that stuff. I'm trying to loosen him up on that, okay? Even the fat thing, he's a little bit sensitive about that. I've gotten him away from that. But the diabetes thing, for quite some time after he was diagnosed with diabetes, which is several months ago, he never talked about it, which is his, you know, it's his business. But I think he's a little bit uptight about that. Like somehow if you admit you're diabetic, it's bad for your image. You know what I'm saying? I'm diabetic. I'm not happy about it because it's bad for my diet is what it's bad for, because now I can't eat all the things that I love, like my pasta. Basta la pasta. But what, of course, my image, how much more can you hurt it? That's a good point. Here's Delray Beach. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes, I am.
I just want to, are you in the mood to be chastened?
Chastened about what?
The way you pronounce Sebago. It should be Sebago.
Yeah.
And when you do
You mean Sebago shoes?
Correct.
Well, you know, the sales hole has never told me that, and since I've never had a pair of Sebago or Sebago shoes, how would I know, you know? But I'm always willing to listen to reason.
That's a part. That's a name.
Right.
And it's Sebago.
Thank you.
Like tomato or tomato.
Tomato. I say tomato.
Potato.
Yeah, and estado aquí. Okay.
You got it.
Bueno.
I love you.
See ya. Sebago. Sure, why would I get upset about that? I make mistakes all the time. I be pronouncing stuff bad all the time. And, of course, when you got salespeople that don't, you know, service their accounts like John Penis and doesn't tell me anything, he just puts a bunch of words on a piece of paper, some of which is real old and stale, by the way, just like John Penis's act. So, anyway, you were wrong, Joe Costello. I can't believe that you would say all those things about Corey. And don't try to blame me. You see, it's easy to blame me. Corey and I have a wonderful, close relationship now that I'm working on feverishly. He's a good guy. No, seriously, he's a real good. What's wrong with that? You think, what does that mean? Now, one thing you do know after all of these years, I'd be the last person in the world, being as paranoid as I am about, you know, the last person that would put a move on anybody where I work for obvious reasons, okay? For obvious reasons. I mean, glaringly obvious reasons. So if you think that I want to get into Corey's pants or something, well, what a grotesque thing that is to say. And like Joe Costello says, Joe admits he's a good-looking guy, but he's got a bald spot. Well, when you look at Corey from the front, you don't see his bald spot. And you're the one that said it was probably his date. It was his mother. Could not have been his date, okay? He doesn't date ladies of that age. And his mother's in her 50s. But she looks good, though. But then again, she's Jewish.
Boy!
Well taken care of. That's why we have all these Jewish women that live to be 95 down here because, you know, their husbands are all pushing up daisies. And the women, after they've nagged them all their lives, the women are still doing great.
spread 'em and say cheese.
Well, I hate what they're doing on QAM. Putting that faggot back on again. I want what they had before. He's not my kind of guy. What the hell are they doing anyway? It's a manly-sounding guy who's really gay. I want more Chris Moore. Cause his voice is real high. When I listen to the sports, a manly voice won't get my attention. But will really get me stiff in the shorts. A squeaky high voice will give me an erection. Well, I hate what they're doing on QAM. Putting that faggot back on again. I'm going to miss hearing straight men with voices this high. Now I'll have to get deeper in that closet again so I can impress all the macho friends. Check out Chris Moore at night to help the tail aside. Yeah, there ain't nothing like having macho sports guys whose voices hasn't cracked since they were 12 years old. Can't go like that. Yeah, stand up real close to the radio and press it on and get their voices on up there. It really makes my balls tingle. And that Crow, man, well, he's smarter than my inbred brother. Yep.
114 at 560 WQM. So anyway, I just found out some devastating news. I mean, some news that I may never recover from. Come to find out, the inside word is that Corey Sabin is a hairy Jew. Hairy.
They make razors for that.
I'm sorry. You know something? That's an even bigger turnoff than hairy to me is guys who shave their bodies. Because let me just tell you, going back to that list we were compiling a couple of weeks ago, straight guys don't shave the hair off their bodies, okay? So if there's any straight guys listening to me right now, one or two, don't be shaving the hair off your body because that makes you gay, okay? Beyond a shadow of a doubt, that makes you into a screaming fag. Now you tell me that Joe Castello, who's sitting in there, shaves the hair off his Italian body?
His balls are bald as a...
He shaves the hair off his balls? How would you know?
He gives me a lot of crap. We did a show. We did 3 shows on body hair.
You did a show on balls?
Well, among
on shaving
other
your
things.
balls?
Yeah.
And Joe Castello shaves his balls. With what? Not with a razor, I hope. The girlfriend likes it. With a razor?
With a razor. Shaves them clean.
You shave your balls with a razor? Are you crazy? Oh, my God. So anyway, getting back to that. You know, speaking of this fag stuff and Defo and that morning show. Yeah, nice going, guys. Like I said, he's off the list, too. Getting back to the... You know, it's interesting. Have you noticed one thing about those 3 guys? Any time that one of their sports nerds calls and takes a shot at me, almost every time, it's always, oh, that's a fag hockey show, or that's a, well, whatever. The word fag is always included. Or like the guy that called just yesterday about, well, the rumor is they were going to have Neil Rogers do the game, but he's not of the right persuasion to do the Panther game. Something like that. There's always this homophobia that comes along with it. And you know what the response always is? Every time in the 15 months I've been on this station, always it's like Simon and Garfunkel would say, the sounds of silence. Now, if I were black and somebody called a morning show on a station and said, well, you know, that nigger that's on at midday, yeah, I mean, obviously they would like go ballistic and they would hang up and start, you know, ripping a guy an ass. But because they feel that it makes them more jock-worthy, you know what I'm saying? More part of the jock sniffers out there. Oh, yeah, well, we're not going to say anything, but we know what you mean. He's a fag. I got news for you. We got plenty of fags around this building, okay? Plenty of fags. I'm not going to mention any names today, but 5670560. No, seriously, have you ever noticed that? Every time one of these sports nerds calls on that morning show, and of course they can't do anything else to knock this show because obviously it's so far superior to that show, and the ratings are so far away and above, even with the fags that are goosing up my numbers. So they just sit back and pretend all 3 of them have got lockjaw. Even that knock-kneed, big-headed goofball from the West Coast, even the little dog. Like they just swallowed something. And I wouldn't be surprised if they all 3 of them did. Like a clam or something. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, how you doing?
Great.
I'm calling to find out why it is that you don't have my cousin Miriam cut your hair anymore.
Miriam found a life. Miriam got married, as you should know if that's your cousin.
Yeah, and she has a beautiful baby girl.
And she's got a life now. In addition to which, I don't want to mess up our new studio. I actually have a great barber now that cuts my hair. But we do love Miriam.
But just because she got married and has a kid doesn't mean she can't cut your hair anymore.
Well, George don't want her around anymore now that she's married.
Sure I do. She didn't return my last call or 2. I can't remember.
But I don't want her cutting my hair in here. I have a great barber.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I just called to
Well,
find out.
give her a big kiss for us. We love her.
I'll do that.
Okay.
She speaks very highly of you.
And she should.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
We love Miriam. Haven't heard from her in a dog's age. She what? Now, what were you saying? Were you getting a little of that on the side, too, by the way?
Huh? About a year ago.
Oh, so you notice how he passes by on these things because his wife might be listening. She's into the soap opera.
Left a message for her.
For who, Miriam?
For Miriam. And, hey, we're over here. We're in our new studio.
Did you leave a message for Anna Marie at the same time? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T. See, one thing about George's wife, she is a sweetheart. She's a wonderful person, one of the nicest, and very naive. Where are we going?
She knows all about it.
Good. Here's, and probably participating. Here's Orlando. Hello.
Neil Guy.
Yes, sir.
This is probably going to be one of your better phone calls. If I could change the subject real quick.
Go right ahead, sir. This is anything you want. That's what this show is all about. The audience doesn't understand that. Maybe someday before I croak, they'll get the message. This is whatever you want as long as I like it.
I heard that.
And if not?
Okay,
Go
listen.
ahead.
I just went through a nasty divorce with my wife.
Those are the nastiest ones with your wife.
Uh-huh. Well, we went to court and all this to get custody of the kids.
Yeah.
Now, I am an atheist. You know, I don't believe in any of that, you know, that fairy tale crap.
Yeah.
And, well, you know, everything was going good. I was getting ready to get my kids, and she got up on the stand, and she told the judge, he is teaching our children not to believe in Jesus, that there is no God, that there is no, you know, all that's fake.
No
Sure.
devil.
You know, and I said...
No purgatory.
And that, you know,
no limbo.
Right. I was trying to explain to them, I'm just being honest with them, because when they get older and find out for themselves, they're going to resent me for lying to them.
Right. That's right.
And the judge heard about this, that I was trying to teach them this, and she now has custody of my kids because of that.
Oh, my God.
And
I thought this was going to be a good call. It's depressing.
it is depressing, you know, but it just goes to show you where this...
Well, don't forget where you are. You're in Orlando, right?
Yeah, a
Oh,
little
my
hick
God.
town, about 500 people.
Right.
Just a little on the outskirts of Orlando, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm throwing my hands up in the air. I'm fed up with everything.
I don't blame you.
I think it's time.
Okay, pal. Good luck to you.
All right, buddy.
Don't do it.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Or if you want to. So, by the way, everybody now, Jason's in there giving spy reports. He's seen Corey naked, and he said he looked like a walking ape. He's so hairy, which I think is getting a little carried away. 567-0560. So we got Joe Costello shaves his balls. Corey is as hairy.
And he's
what?
trying to get, not only is he trying to get me to do the same thing, but Jason
what?
also. Shave.
Shave your balls?
He says we're nuts if we don't shave them.
Maybe Joe will do it for you, since he's the expert. Believe me, I know how these guys work. Trust me, I'm an old troll. I know how how you get these things started. Oh, here, let me just see if I can trim those for you a little bit. Yeah. Uh-huh. Next thing you know, whoops. Next thing you know, somebody's having lunch. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line.
Joe wants to go on record as saying that intern Shannon likes it shaved also.
And how about his balls? Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
you call that caller back here in Orlando and tell him he can come over and jump off that 17th Street Causeway Bridge up running over here.
Yeah.
Bridge tender here.
Okay, go get some material, pal. Call us back in about 10 years when you find some. Go give the bridge tender a big kiss on his puss. I hear he's got one. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Remember that song about Joe Costello? He's an old smoothie. Here's Aventura. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you
We
doing?
got some kinky bastards in this place up there.
Next thing you know, you're having lunch.
That's right.
I lost to it, that one. I got three things to tell you.
Okay.
The first team sucks.
Uh-huh.
Second,
Bunch of homophobic assholes. I wouldn't be surprised if all three of them in the closet.
you know, I met Defoe in Vegas like a few years ago.
Yeah.
The biggest prick in the world.
Really?
Second thing is,
Haven't looked.
when I listen to a sports show, I really don't care what the guy's eating manners are. Hank is a guy that gives you the stuff straight. No,
The guy that said he was not authoritative or something like that, I would part company on that. Hank's of all the people at this radio station, I mean, he's heads and shoulders in terms of actually knowing what's going on because he name drops a lot and talks to all these people and usually has a pretty good idea what's going on.
not only that, but he
Even though he does occasionally kiss their ass when he has them on the air like Jimmy, but he can't help that. He's got to do the Jimmy Johnson show, you know.
Yeah, but he doesn't present things in a sensationalist way. He just says it like it is, and
Right.
that's why I like him. Thirdly, That caller who called earlier and said that you should do play-by-play.
Right.
I think that's a great idea, man. You would really.
Well, I should be doing the Panther games. I'm the greatest hockey announcer since Bill Hewitt died. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, that remains
I'm
to
not
be
just
seen,
making
but
it up either.
it'd be good if you gave it a shot. And Forrest, I
Well,
shaved.
you don't think Wayne is going to hire me, though, do you, sir? With all due respect.
Well, Wayne hates you, man.
Right.
And
mutual.
and another thing, I'm straight, man, and I shave my balls, and I don't think that has anything to do with being gay.
I didn't say it did. I just said that there could be a way. I'd be very careful because if somebody says, "Do you want me to shave your balls for you because I did it myself and I'm the expert?" No, seriously, don't you understand what I'm saying? In other words, if you said to some guy who's a friend of yours, "Here, it's really a great thing and the chicks love it, and let me show you how it works," wouldn't you think that the guy would like run like a son of a bitch?
That's a bit homoish, but I got to tell you something. This is a tip.
I mean, guys don't want to go around shaving every other guy's balls in the place like Joe Castello does here. Start worrying about him.
I'll tell you
He's
one
a good
thing.
guy, but keep in mind he's Roman. He's Italian. You know those Romans?
Yeah, well, man, he's a little
they
weird.
like it, yeah.
But let me tell you one thing. This is a tip to all you guys out there. Your women will love you for it if you trim and cut and keep that thing in shape.
You
man.
love that trim, yeah.
They'll love it. Take care, Neil.
Okay, see you, pal.
Gotcha.
Okay, shaved balls. That's our topic, by the way, for the next 6 weeks. Sure, it's sure more appetizing than hearing about all these straight guys with their anal sex.
Rectum.
Oh, boy, that just wore me out, just hearing about it. Wore most of those women out, too, just anticipating. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT. I mean, now, I don't want to get too graphic here, but what is it? What, does he use Nair or something? I mean, what do you...
I assume he uses
What do you
shaving
put on your gonad? You put shaving cream on your gonads?
Here's my understanding of it, because this is
It
what I
puts
was
the
told.
lotion in the basket.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You get the clippers and get like a number 2 setting, and trim everything with the number 2, and then on the scrot itself, you actually have to get the shaving cream and get rid of everything. Shave that smooth.
Shave it completely smooth.
Right. On the bag.
On the sack.
Jeff.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And the women are supposed to like that much, much better.
Why?
And I've spoken to a couple that do, and I've spoken to a couple others that say that would make you gay.
Is it easier on their chin? Is that what it is? Less chin burn? That's what Monica said. Well, she played a mean chin ball. That's what I heard. 125. I mean, I'm learning new things every day. Just when I thought you couldn't learn anymore. First, the doctor was telling me perverted stories 3 days ago over at his office. And then, of course, Jeff Cohen was on there before, who's sicker than all of them put together.
Beware of exploding balls.
I woke up this morning with a feeling of despair. I looked for my pussy, but my pussy wasn't there. Well, my cat fell in the well. Oh, puss, kitty, 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 my cat fell in the well. I got out a ladder and I climbed up to my pet. I saw in a jiffy that my puss was soaking wet. Well, my cat fell in the well. Oh, puss, kitty, 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 my cat fell in the well. The doggone hole by the pump, was she pushed, did she jump? There never was a kitty half as pretty as pussy that fell in the well. There never was a pussy that could quite compare with her. Pretty as a picture with her long and silky fur.
Well, my cat fell in the well.
Oh, pussy, kitty, my cat fell in the well. If you have a pussy that you wouldn't tread or sell,
never let her wander or she might fall in a well.
Well, my cat fell in the well. Oh, puss, kitty, my cat fell in the well, fell in the well. Well,
Okay, 131 at 560. You can turn my overhead back up now again because I heard everything that Joe was saying in there, all the admissions. It's like going to confession, sitting on the other side with Father's tool. There you go. I can actually hear it. I stand by my original statement. I've given this about 30 seconds evaluation in my mind, and I stand by what I originally said, and that is that guys who shave hair off any of their body parts, those are the faggots, okay? I mean, if you want to take it personally, if you want to be offended, I'm sorry, but guys who shave hair off any part of their body, those guys are fags. Believe me when I tell you, not the face, okay? Facial hair anywhere below the neckline, okay? Anywhere below where your necklace comes down. And I do mean necklace. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I listen to the first team. They're mediocre, but, if something in sports interests me, I listen to him.
Yeah.
I listen to Hank. The only thing I don't like about Hank sometimes, he'll sit there and he'll say something about someone, and they'll have him on his show, and he'll kiss his ass. I don't like that about Hank.
Yeah.
I like Jim Manich. I wish
He'll be on today, by the way, Mandich. I want everybody to be sure they know that.
Great. I think he's funny. He's entertaining. Your show's number 1. Howard Stern show's number 2. Chris Bush and Eddie Eduardo are 2 major assholes.
Okay, say hi to Chris and tell him to get out of our face. Here's another fax, by the way. The faxers are really foaming at the mouth today. It says it's about time somebody started ripping this Jeff the florist an ass. What delusion is he suffering where he walks around suggesting that Hank Goldberg is the problem? Jeff, you need serious medical treatment, lots and lots of shock treatment. Then we can work on getting your head out of your ass, you dip shot you. Get rid of that helium-filled ass liquor and that other stupid jock in the morning. You're the problem, Jeff the florist. Get a clue. You suck. Although sucking is how you got your job in the first place, it says. And you must have sucked because has much better taste than to let your mouth anywhere near his thick, juicy. Signed, Steve. Oh. Okay. Only the names have been out to protect the guilty, okay? Getting really pissed off and fired up about that. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Hey, Neil, are they firing Christina Moron?
He's leaving by mutual consent.
Oh,
he said, I'm thinking about leaving, and they said, don't let the door hit you in your skinny ass on the way out.
I got a beef with you. Why can't you just look over at Stanley C. Panther's little lounge up there when the lights start flashing when the goal goes on, instead of looking at the goal light?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't realize it went on up there.
Yeah, the little things flash all over the place. Can't you just wait for that?
Next year I'll start looking for some little things. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. In fact, when the game-winning goal was scored last night by Marcus Nielsen, who last night was jawing all during the game with Sako Kuiv. I guess that's a Swedish-Finnish thing. They had a little thing going, say my eel is bigger than yours is or something. But when the winning goal went in there in overtime, we were hoping it was over, believe me. But you really couldn't be sure until everybody started leaving. I guess it's over, and it was over. Because you can't see the goddamn light. But don't start picking on that again, because I'm through with the season. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello. Going once. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think they both suck, and I think you suck, too.
Okay, thank you. And thanks for listening to 560 QAM. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. See what I try to say. Now, the whole audience naturally is out there. They're grabbing themselves all over and laughing and puking at this guy. Because every time somebody calls and makes a call like that, everybody with a brain the size of a thumbnail, of a hangnail, knows that this guy is listening. So what does that say? Not about us, about him. What does that tell you? What does it say? We all suck. Now, I do suck. We know that, and that's my business. But this hairless business, I'm sorry, that's not for this kid. In fact, I'll tell you what's really freaky is guys that shave like their chest or their like any body parts, and the hair is like just a little bit grown back, you know what I'm saying? And you feel like that fuzz. And it's a dead tip-off. It's a dead giveaway. Like, this is a freak that shaves itself. You know, what kind of a thing is this? Joe? Here's Plantation. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to have some great memories of the famous.
All right. It's a little bit slow, a little bit late, but better late than never. Yes, sir.
Yeah, when I grew up, it was sort of like the preliminary to Joe Stone Crabs. You would go there were lines out the
Joe
block.
Stone Crabs. Now you ruined my whole day. Why do you bring that overpriced
Oh, just said it was
puff
lines
face
out
in?
the block to eat that crep-luck and chopped liver.
Yeah,
Had the best crep-luck in town.
right.
You know, so it was like a food orgy for all the Jews in town. You could have shaved your balls in the middle of the famous and no one would have noticed.
That's right. You're absolutely right. They were too engrossed in the fried kreplach and the kishki, right.
That fried crep-luck, I've tried to duplicate it. It's impossible.
Yeah.
No, but it was great.
What a sin that was when those two Julio guys bought it out and tried to reopen it and started, like it said in Howard Kleinberg's article, they replaced the chicken soup with lobster bisque.
Yeah,
Don't they understand that only goyim eat lobster bisque? What the hell was that about? Who had ever heard of eating a deli meal with lobster bisque?
Whenever my parents wanted to get taken out to dinner, that's where they wanted to go.
Well, they must have excellent taste.
It was like a Romanian steak smothered in onions.
Yo, I remember that. That was the best.
Fantastic.
And Hungarian goulash?
They had great tsimis and heavy suris, and
right.
And it was just a great place.
And now no more tsimis. We just got the tsuris. That's all we got left.
That's exactly right.
God bless you, sir.
Take care.
Sei gesund. See, finally, it took a couple of days. I told Howard Kleinberg at the game last night that was one of the great columns ever written. We got no response about it because what do you expect, you know? Just like we got no response about Bill Wendell died. Bill Wendell died from the David Letterman show. Does anybody in this audience remember Bill Wendell?
No.
Huh? I don't understand. What does anybody got to do to impress these dullards that we have down here, to make an impression with you, to make you feel like if they croak? I mean, everybody's got to croak someday, and it's not like the guy was 40 years old. He was 75, which isn't ancient, but it's, that was his time. But they just don't give a crap. Who else was it that died? Oh, and of course, what's his name? Tony Newley. They're having parties that he died. Anthony Newley. He had a style that was so... And he used to do Vegas, too, by the way. He must have had naked pictures of some mobsters or something. The most disgusting, nauseating, puke-inducing style. Okay, he was like a cross between Jim Nabors and Queen Elizabeth. Or whichever queen you want to put in there. Maybe one that shaves his balls. I can't believe that. I mean, first of all, the fact that you do it, that's one thing. But to go around advertising it, no, but yeah, he wouldn't have known unless you told him. Why do you tell another guy that you shave your balls?
He tells everybody.
And then he goes to get a wax job 3 times a week? He's got waxy buildup on
everyone
top
in the
of
building. If you're not shaving, you're missing out.
See, a guy like him shouldn't be that desperate that he has to kowtow to some broad's wishes that you... No, seriously. He should be able to have his pick, just like Corey in there. Although more so Corey, because Corey's a better-looking guy than Joe. Joe's okay. Corey's a good-looking guy. Now, why do you give me a look like that? You know that's true. Sure you do. You have a Roman nose. If you had a nose like Corey, why don't you and Corey swap noses? Huh?
And hair.
And you can take a little bit of his hair and put it back on your balls, and then you would have some self-respect instead of shaving your balls because your girlfriend likes it that way. Man, who's the pussy in this relationship, huh? She likes it that way. Man, grow up here, man. Maybe you shaved one of them off. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe Geldy. Maybe that's what I understand that Geldy used to have a deep, like a Westbrook Van Voorhees voice. And then Joe turned him on to the shaving your balls stuff, which we heard Geldy was getting a lot of action. Maybe that's the reason why. I can't think of any other reason. Plus being hung like a crocodile. What a place this is, man. I'm surrounded by perverts. I'll tell you one thing. You know how sick this place is? When I'm the one that's normal, okay, by comparison, you know this is a sick goddamn place. 21 till 2 at 560 WQM. If you're suffering from hair loss, if you have a bald spot like Corey Sabin, and you're not happy with what you see in the mirror these days, go see my friend Charles Alfieri. That's what I should do, is go hook Corey up with Charles Alfieri, fill in that little bald spot he's got. Then Joe would be psychotic. Then what would you have to rip then, huh? Then you'd be standing out in the hallway there, scraping them off, whatever they are.
Looking for glory holes.
Come shave my legs. Don't want them hairy again. Please use your razor and cap, and if you use the net, I won't get any next. Come shave my
144 at 560 WQM. We have a note here that was slipped under the door from somebody back in sales. It's unsigned, but it's interesting because it says that
Roy
is known to have shaved his chocolate salty. Okay, where are we going? We have an open line in somewhere. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Well, who could that have been from in sales, by the way? Who was writing that about?
Roy!
Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
It's just simple to settle. Why don't you ask yourself, how do you like your balls?
How do I like my balls? I don't know. I'm not double-jointed, are you? I'll ask Ron Jeremy. I like mine with like a little pomodoro sauce on them, to be honest with you. And certainly no breadcrumbs. Lots of carbohydrates. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Great.
Listen, I hope Hank's listening to the show today.
I don't know where he is today. He's not on. I don't know where the hell he is.
Well, I'll tell you. He's the most annoying show host I've ever heard.
Really?
Oh, please. He's like, I heard the caller earlier say, he always acts like he knows what he's talking about, and it's so blatant that he's reading everything. He's got some guy whispering in his ear. He doesn't know anything about anybody. And he loves to cut people off, and he loves to chew people out, and, after he hangs up on them, gives them all kinds of business.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's pathetic. He's pathetic. And I mean, the morning guys, well, we all know they're a joke, and it's more of a comedy than anything, because they really don't know poop either. But I'll tell you, that Hank Goldberg, I can live without him big time.
Okay, pal, I'll pass it along. Thank you so much. No, too late. Here's one that says, can you imagine if you put Jeff DeForest with the Dolphin Marlin Heat Jock and Pete Bolger with Dave Ross in the same room? It would be suction infinity. The universe would implode. It would be the end of time, for whatever that means. Yeah, these people, I'm going to tell you again, guys who shave the hair off their body parts.
See, that man's a freak.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. Guys who shave that to answer the guy that called before, because I have seen a few appear in my time. And if I encountered a guy with shaved gonads, I would immediately say,
see, that man's a freak.
And run like hell the other way. So you're safe, Joe. That's good. We all feel better now. There's like a sigh of relief. Joe is safe. Corey's safe till he gets the Charles Healthy area. Or maybe we could just transplant the hair from the rest of the body on that bald spot on his head. That would be good. And a little left over for Joe to put back where they belong. No, seriously, what kind of a guy is that much of a wimp? You know what it reminds me of? I've thought this many, many times, and for some reason I never think to talk about it on the air. What kind of guys drive around? Now, do you ever let your wife drive when you're going somewhere?
No.
No. See, there you go. See, I told you George is a real man.
It's not a matter of let.
What, in other words, she doesn't want to?
Well, of course. It wouldn't come up.
It's just not done.
There's no question who would be driving.
Exactly. There you go. In other words, it doesn't happen. But when I see guys who are like either their girlfriends or their wives or both are driving, and maybe it's their car, okay, it doesn't make any difference to me. I still feel, maybe this is a sexist thing. In fact, it probably is. But guys, generally speaking, are much better drivers than women. If there's a guy out there who admits in his mind that his girlfriend or wife or grandma or whoever it is a better driver, then that guy ought to walk, you know. I don't understand. I see that all the time. Women driving, and the guy, the husband, the boyfriend, the whoever he is sitting there, and she's doing the drive. And I say, why is that? Why is that? Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello. Hey, how you doing?
Great.
All right, this is Levi. I'm a first-time caller. I just want to say, first of all, Dan Marino is number one. Number one.
What time is his show on?
Okay. The second.
Well, what does Dan Marino have to do with what we're talking about today, sir? Are you one of those one-dimensional dolphin nerds?
No, yes, I am. But also,
well, get out of here then. I don't want to hear from you, okay? Call after 2. Mad Dog will talk to you. He's obsessed with Dan Marino. He's got a Dan Marino blow-up doll at home that he borrowed from Joe Rose. Well, Joe's got several. He's got a pair.
Tommy also shaves, speaking of pair.
He's nuts?
Yes, and he shaves them too.
Well, what do you look so, what does that mean? Didn't you just tell him that? Then how do you know that?
Joe just told me.
Did somebody outside tell you that? I don't want to mention any names.
Yeah, I know his girlfriend.
What's his name?
She's a very nice
Oh,
lady.
you notice? I didn't notice that. Tommy got a haircut.
No, he didn't.
Turn around.
Oh, the side. Yeah, I got a little trimmed.
Yeah, he got a little...
That could be the scrotum right there.
For all you know, it might be. For all the hair he's got for that ponytail. I don't know. I mean, this is just becoming so complex. I'm just overwhelmed by it. I can't stand it. I can't deal with it. But we are going to get you some new track shoes, though, Tommy. That's the good news. You're going to have to learn to start running real fast. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Listen, first of all, I love your show.
Of course.
Second of all, I will not listen to the first team. And third of all, you're talking about the shaving thing. Well, I call George. I'm a straight guy, and I shave. I shave my chest. I shave my stomach.
Oh, my God.
Now, listen.
Yeah, we believe you.
When you are flipping through the ad in the newspaper or something, or a magazine, and you see like one of these underwear models, okay, or a big billboard, Calvin Klein.
Never see a guy with hair.
Never. And
but
why
you
do you
know,
think that is?
But you do understand most models are, I don't want to say the word, you know.
Fruity.
Well, there you go. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's how I like to look. You know, it's
you
a
want
modern.
to look fruity?
No,
like Fruity of the Loom?
Sporty. It's a modern look. 70s. You had your shirt unbuttoned, you know, down to your pubic.
Right.
You know, with the big Burt Reynolds hairy chest and the bad haircut.
Yeah, that's a Cuban thing, though. That's
right.
That's a disgusting Cuban thing because they're living in the past, you know, like in Venezuela and Caracas.
Right. And
looks
also
like
to
Cesar
touch
Romero, and they don't realize he's dead.
To touch on this thing about letting your girlfriend drive.
Yeah.
My girlfriend has a very, very expensive car that her father gave her, you know.
Yeah.
But whenever we're going someplace, I always like to drive, just because when she drives like she's got no place to go. You know what I'm saying? She drives like she's got some kind of song in her head.
Right.
That's like some kind of bad show tune. You know,
Right,
I like
that's
to
right.
get from A to B.
Yeah, excellent. This is my kind of guy. I'll even overlook the shaving the body parts. This guy wants to get from point A to point B and not go out there diddly-doodling around. I can't stand people get on the highway who are diddly-doodling around.
Now, sometimes I feel bad, you know, because her car is so much better than mine. And it's like, you know, I don't want her to think that I want to drive it because it's better. But it's like, hey, you know what, if we're going to take your car, because I got a Jeep, and the Jeep doesn't have AC, and the seats don't this and that. But, hey, you know, I want to get there. You want to take this car? Then, hey, I'm driving.
Excellent.
You know, love your show. And Defo, you smell.
Woo! Man. Seems like Jeff DeFlorest has imploded upon his own words this morning, running around a building, stirring the pot. By the way, speaking of pot, we're going to be smoking some weed on the show tomorrow to close out a nice week. Can't smoke cigarettes, can't smoke pipes, can't smoke even cigars. A good cigar in here is what the deal is. But nobody ever said anything about smoking a little bit of the good herb in here, okay? And all my doctor friends tell me that those herbs are good for you. People are spending a fortune. They get those St. John's worts and all the other good stuff. There's nothing like a little herb to make you feel better.